What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, where I'll be doing live streams, my play-by-play reaction and commentary throughout college basketball games, throughout the regular season, all the way into the March Madness tournament. So thank you for joining me today for game number 2 on this Saturday, as I did the game at 2 p.m. was North Carolina against Louisville, and UNC out on the road won that game. But today we got a pretty good Big Ten battle for us, with the Indiana Hoosiers coming in to take on the Michigan State Spartans in this one. So thank you all for joining me. This YouTube channel is called Behind the Arc Basketball, and feel free to like my videos, share, and spread the word as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. So thank you for joining me for this one, as we're almost about ready to get to tip off here. The Indiana Hoosiers coming in on the road, losers of their past 7 in a row, trying to get something going here at the Breslin Center in East Lansing, Michigan, as the Hoosiers are 12-9 overall, 3-7 in Big Ten play. They've lost the past 7 games. The last 2 games they lost at number 5 Michigan, 69-46, and then they lost on Wednesday to Rutgers, 66-58. Romeo Langford led the way for the Hoosiers with 20 points in that game. As we look to the Michigan State Spartans, ranked sixth in the nation right now, coming off that 10-point loss last Sunday to the Purdue Boilermakers at the Mackey Arena, as Cassius Winston led the way for Michigan State last Sunday with 23 points and 7 assists. Michigan State has a record of 18-3 overall coming into this game, 9-1 in the Big Ten right now, undefeated at home at 10-0. They're also 5-1 against top 25 opponents inside the AP top 25. As we look to the key player tonight for Michigan State, well, you have to look out for Cassius Winston, the point guard from Detroit, Michigan, the junior point guard for Michigan State, as Cassius averages around 18.5 points per game. That's first on the team, and that's also 5th in the Big Ten for points per game. But whereas he scores, he also does a lot with passing the ball and leading the scoring, as well, as he's currently ranked 6th right now in all college basketball in assists, as he averages about 7.3 assists per game. So definitely Cassius Winston is the one to look out for tonight for Michigan State that can make a difference in this game, as Winston has scored double-digit points in all but one of his games this season. As we look to the Indiana Hoosiers, and who can make a difference in this game could be the senior forward, Jawan Morgan, for this game, as he's 3rd in the conference right now for shooting percentage from the field, as he shoots the ball at around 59.3% from the field. Indiana is trying to rebound with this game. They're on a 7-game losing streak. They're right on the bubble, with a group of teams on the bubble as well, with the Texas Longhorns there, Arizona, Arizona State, San Francisco is on the bubble. So Indiana, they were in the top 25 a few weeks ago, and then they dropped out, and because they've went on a huge losing streak in the conference, trying to rebound. They had at one point a 7-game winning streak, and then that was snapped, and then they went on this 7-game losing streak that they're trying to make sure it doesn't go to 8 tonight. But one of the things that Indiana did a few weeks ago was that they ranked 2nd in the nation in shooting percentage a couple of weeks ago, and now they've just shot the ball 35.9% from the field ever since. For the past 5 games, they shot the ball 35.9% from the field for Indiana. Indiana is still up top at the Big Ten for shooting percentage, as they're shooting the ball around 47.9% from the field. That's good for 2nd in the Big Ten. As we are a couple minutes away here before tip-off, we'll look to Michigan State. We'll see some of the opponents that they played this season, where 3 of their losses have been this season for Michigan State. Well, they lost a tough one at the number 1 team in the nation, who was ranked in the preseason poll as number 1. That was the Kansas Jayhawks. So Michigan State lost to them in the State Farm Classic in Indianapolis in the tip-off for that one. So the very first game of the season and the season opener, Michigan State lost 92-87. Then they went on the road, played number 15 Louisville, and lost to them by 4. And then at the Mackey Arena last Sunday, they lost by 10 to the Purdue Boilermakers, which was led by Carson Edwards, who's a top 5 scorer in the nation for points per game right now for Purdue. As Michigan State, they were on a 13-game win streak before the loss last Sunday to Purdue. As we look to the head coaches right now, Tom Izzo from Michigan State in his 24th season as head coach with a record of 592 wins, 228 losses, good for a winning percentage of 72.2%. Izzo hasn't missed an NCAA tournament for Michigan State since 1997, as Tom Izzo has also taken the Spartans to 7 Final Fours, and they claimed the national title back in 2000. As we look to the head coach tonight for the Indiana Hoosiers, it will be Archie Miller in his second season as coach for the Hoosiers. Right now, with a 28-24 record, Indiana got as high as number 21 in the AP Top 25 this season. But that's all that's happened to them, as they've lost the past 7 games and dropped out of the top 25. And really now, depending on this game, if they win this game, this is a huge step towards back into the bubble picture. If they lose this, they're basically out of the bubble and out of the tournament projections. They really need to win out to get into the tournament as an at-large for the Hoosiers. Archie Miller, before he took the job at Indiana, he was the head coach of the Dayton Flyers, who from 2011 to 2017, with Miller as coach, went to 4 NCAA tournaments. So that's a little bit of insight on both of the teams, Indiana and Michigan State. We're a couple minutes away here from tip-off. We'll look to that Big Ten standings board. Michigan State currently sits at first in the conference after Michigan's loss last night to Iowa, which helped out the Spartans to put them back in first. So Michigan State's 9-1 in Big Ten conference play, currently 18-3 overall, undefeated at home. Michigan in second place, 9-2 in the conference, and then Purdue, 8-2, sits at third in the conference, followed behind by Wisconsin, Maryland, Minnesota, Iowa, Ohio State's in there. Rutgers is 4-7 in the conference, but they're ahead of Nebraska and Indiana, who's currently on the bubble at 3-7 in the conference. Nebraska's 13-8 overall, and Indiana's 12-9. As we're a couple of minutes left to go before we get to tip-off action here in East Lansing, Michigan at Michigan State. We'll look to the NCAA scoreboard from earlier today. One of the key things to note was the noon game between number 12 Virginia Tech and number 23 North Carolina State. That was the lowest combined score in about a decade for the first half, as both of those teams, the Hokies and the Wolfpack, combined for a total of 34 points in the first half, and North Carolina State's 24 points they had as a final score today is the lowest score ever in the nation of college basketball in the shot clock era. So Virginia Tech scores 47 at noontime today and pulls off the 23-point victory, as North Carolina State scored 24 points in that one. They shot a season low. I think it was like 19% from the field in the loss. But yeah, that is the lowest score a team has ever scored in the shot clock era. As we are a couple minutes away from action in this one, a final just happened at Kansas, beating Texas Tech in that game. Number 11 Kansas and the Jayhawks beating the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, 16th ranked in the nation, as Kansas won 79-63. So we are almost ready to start off this one from East Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State trying to look to get back on a winning streak. Indiana trying to not lose, but trying to get out of the losing streak. I meant there, but yeah. But we're almost underway here. So Indiana's trying to make sure Michigan State loses for this one. Indiana needs to snap that 7-game losing streak. Michigan State wants to make sure they don't go on a losing streak of their own, as they lost the last game against Purdue. Tip-off right now, as Cassius Winston will control the tip-off for Michigan State. Michigan State in the white and green jerseys tonight, and Indiana in the red away jerseys with white lettering. Nick Ward backing his way in there in the low post. Cannot get that one to go, but offensive rebound by Kenny Goins in the shot as Michigan State goes up on top. Indiana now with the ball, dribbling around the perimeter. With it is Aljami Durham. Now passing around the outside. Shot, and it goes down for Indiana. So the first shot that it wasn't sure if it was a 3-pointer or a 2-pointer, if its foot was on the line, but Michigan State got it, and then Indiana with a shot inside. So we have 19 minutes and 6 seconds left in the first. Michigan State up 3-2. Michigan State with the ball. So both of the teams converting on their first possessions from the field. Cassius Winston now with the ball, passes it off to Matt McQuaid, back to Kenny Goins around the free throw circle, back to Winston, top of the key here. 18:50 left, 2 on the shot clock. 3 ball for Winston, no good, rims out. Rebounded by Durham of Indiana as he takes it towards the left side of the timeline. Now into the hands with the ball is Justin Smith. Feeds the ball down low to Jawan Morgan at the left elbow. Guarded by Ward. Jumper, no good. Too strong off the board. Rebounded by the Spartans. They take it back up. It's Cassius Winston past the logo. Passes the ball off. Top of the key 3. Kenny Goins rimmed out. But the offensive board by tap back to Winston for Michigan State. And looks like we have a foul with 18:23 left in the first. So Indiana picks up their first foul of the game on the reach-in. And the Spartans will inbound as we thank you guys for joining me in the chat. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my videos as well. We have 18 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first half. Michigan State up 3-2 against Indiana. As the Spartans here will inbound the ball. It'll be Winston who will throw in the inbounds. Or, no, it'll be Aaron Henry who throw the inbounds pass to Winston as it was guarded by Romeo Langford. Winston back up and thought about the left wing 3 was Kenny Goins, didn't. And now they're passing around the perimeter for Michigan State. Matt McQuaid towards the right wing with the ball dribbling now. Passes it off. Jumper from the free throw circle and it hits for Aaron Henry. 5-2. Spartans now with 18 minutes left. Indiana with the ball now, dribbling towards the left side behind the 3-point line, passing to the right side behind the 3-point line. Romeo Langford trying to feed the ball into Durham. It's stripped away, stolen by Winston of Michigan State. Winston feeds the ball off. Baseline, low with it. Nick Ward now at the left elbow. Left elbow jumper, it hits. Goes ring around the rim for Michigan State, up 7-2 with 17:37 left to go in the first. Down low. Baseline with Jawan Morgan now with the ball for Indiana. Trying to work on Ward. He gets the shot home for the Hoosiers. 7-4. Michigan State now with the ball. Cassius Winston. 17:20 left as he tried to throw the alley-oop in there. And it couldn't go home. Indiana with the ball now. Passing around the perimeter. Left corner. Trying to dribble inside. Romeo Langford couldn't get the shot, but he gets the rebound. Fought back with it. Pass inside. Up and in off the glass by Justin Smith. 7-6. Michigan State up by 1 with 17 minutes left. As we thank you all for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and what I do is play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout the season all the way into the March Madness tournament. The shot goes down from the free throw line. Deep 2. Jumper goes down for Michigan State, up 9-6. 16:40 left to go in the first. Indiana with the ball. Rob Finney feeds the ball off now, and they're passing the ball around the perimeter and trying to dribble inside. No good. The shot was by Romeo Langford. Couldn't get the shot to fall off the backboard, but Michigan State will get called with the foul. Their first foul as a team tonight. So thank you for joining me in here for the stream. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. So that was a shooting foul committed by Michigan State. So Indiana will go to the line for 2. Romeo Langford will shoot 2 from the line. He's a 71.9% free throw shooter in the season. So the first one by Langford. And it gets the courtesy of the rim, and it goes through. So it hit the bottom part of the rim, went to the top of the iron, and right through the net. So we got the lucky bounce there. So 9-7 now. Michigan State up by 2. Langford will shoot another shot from the line for Indiana. He hit on his first. Here's the second shot from the line, and nothing but net from the free throw line. 2 for 2 for that time around. And 9-8, Michigan State up by 1. As they pass the ball around the perimeter, Kenny Goins with the ball passes it off back to Winston. Winston dribbling to his left, feeds the ball to his right. Right corner now, McQuaid try to feed the ball inside to Tillman. And McQuaid does get it back, though. As Michigan State's passing the ball, left wing 3 from deep downtown, no good by Winston. Rebounded by Indiana. As it's into the hands of Devontae Green now, who's off the bench for the Hoosiers. As he's dribbling with the ball towards the right side of the perimeter. Now he's trying to dribble baseline, kicks the ball back outside, right wing 3, and it hits from the outside for the Hoosiers. Juwan Morgan hit that one for Indiana. They take the lead, 11-9 Indiana. 15:42 left to go in the first. Michigan State with the ball. As now it's Kenny Goins with it towards the left wing, top of the key 3. Matt McQuaid, no good, missed, rimmed out, rebounded by Justin Smith of Indiana. The ball into the hands of Devontae Green. The Hoosiers passes it back to Smith, now back to Green. Green from behind the arc, trying to dribble inside, guarded by Winston, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Indiana, so the Spartans will get it back after the timeout. 15 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in the first. The Indiana Hoosiers up 11-9 against the number 6 Michigan State Spartans. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. I'll be doing live streams of my play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout this regular season and through the conference tournament and as well into the March Madness tournament. So don't miss a beat with me because this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and I'm going to put in the chat here the score, so I'll update that for you guys. But thank you for joining me. So we got 11-9 and 15-19 remaining. Yeah, pretty good game so far with both of these teams pushing tempo on the court. I'll go into some of the team stats here since we're at commercial break. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and what I do is I do live play-by-play reactions to college basketball games throughout the season, and of course I'll do it into the March Madness tournament, so feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. So the last play was Cassius Winston stole the ball as the ball went out of bounds. I think that Michigan State will get it back, but let's see some of these stats for both of the teams. Michigan State currently shooting 40% from the field right now, 4 for 10, while Indiana is shooting 4 for 6 from the field at 66.7%. As we're on this commercial break here, 3-point shooting percentage is the difference. Indiana's perfect, 1 for 1. Michigan State's 1 for 5. So far, Indiana out-rebounding Michigan State 5-3. And both of the teams have 1 foul currently. Indiana's turned the ball over twice. So far, Michigan State hasn't yet. As we look to the leading scoring so far, as this game has just got underway, as we haven't reached the 5-minute mark yet in this one, but Cassius Winston leading the Spartans with 5 points right now as he hit a 3-pointer and then a shot inside. Cassius Winston was the leading scorer on Sunday in the loss against Purdue as he scored 23 points. He added in 7 assists. On the season, Cassius Winston averages around 7.3 assists per game. That is good for 6th in college basketball right now and 1st in the conference. Other things that Michigan State does well, of course, they do assists by the team for total. They're 1st in the nation for total assists. And we look to the leading scores for Indiana, and I see that Juwan Morgan has 5 points so far as He also leads the Hoosiers in rebounds, an average of 8 rebounds per game. He's second on the team in scoring coming into this game, averaging 16.4 points per game. Romeo Langford is first on Indiana for scoring right now. Coming into this game, he averages around 17.3 points per game. As we're almost back to action here, so Michigan State will get the ball back. Down by 2 for the Spartans. And they have the ball now on the inbounds. Dribbling behind the arc with it, and the ball into the hands of Cassius Winston. Passes the ball, a lot of perimeter passing. Matt McQuaid with the ball. Ooh, it was almost bumped out of bounds, but he gets the ball back to Winston. 15 minutes left to go in the first, and the reverse hand layup, but it couldn't go in for Xavier Tillman, but he's fouled and will go to the line for 2. So Indiana picks up their second foul as a team. Xavier Tillman will shoot 2 from the line with 15:01 left to go in the first. So Michigan State's down by 2, 11-9. Xavier Tillman, 69.1% from the free throw line this season. Here's his first. And it cannot get the courtesy of the rim as it rolls around the rim and out. So he missed the first shot from the line. Second shot from the line by Xavier Tillman. And that one, the same spot, just rolled around the rim and out. But not sure if the refs are going to let him shoot another one here. There must have been movement before he shot the ball by the defense. So he'll get another shot. And yeah, that one missed too. So Michigan State couldn't capitalize from the free throw line there. Still down 11-9. Indiana got the rebound. Now with the ball for the Hoosiers. Dribbling inside, Justin Smith down the baseline, and the ball's ripped away by Xavier Tillman, and Kenny Goins had a tie-up there. Smith tried to go in for the shot, but the possession arrow will go to Indiana. As we have 14 minutes, 49 seconds left to go, and it looks like Kenny Goins will go back on the bench for Michigan State. So the Hoosiers will inbound the ball as they pass the ball to Aljami Durham. Right wing with it, feeds the ball down into the low post. Now with Jawan Morgan backing his way in there towards the Big Ten logo. Kicks the ball out now as they feed the ball deep. 3. And no good from the outside. Devontae Green, but the offensive rebound by Indiana, and they get it back. Romeo Langford dribbling the ball now towards the front court, towards the right corner. Now passes the ball off. Left side, dribbling behind the arc with it, trying to dribble baseline and tried to go off the glass with it was Aldami Jerem, but too strong. Rebounded by the Spartans as they take a baseline, trying to go all the way, and the ball goes out of bounds. So we'll see if Indiana picked up their third foul on it, did they? The ball was knocked out of bounds out of the hands of Kyle Ahrens from Michigan State. So it was just swatted away. So no foul committed on Indiana as Ahrens was trying to dribble baseline towards the basket. So it was just knocked out by a Hoosier. But Michigan State will regain possession here. Down 11-9 with 14-16 left to go as the inbounds goes back to Winston now off the handoff. And he feeds the ball to Ahrens. 3 ball from outside right wing. No good. Rebounded by Dayron Davis of Indiana. They take it past the timeline. Rob Finney with the ball in his hands at the free throw circle. Dribbling inside, kicks the ball back outside. Now Indiana's passing the ball around the 3-point arc. Rob Finney dribbling now into the hands of Jawan Morgan. Lobs the ball over the top down low, backing his wing in there is Deron Davis, guarded by Ward. Davis. And he gets the shot to fall over Nick Ward. So Deron Davis with 2 points now, 13-9. Indiana's up by 4. The ball thrown inside of Nick Ward, but Indiana called with another foul. It'll be their third on the night. So right now we have 13 minutes, 37 seconds left, and Michigan State will get the inbounds pass again. So the Spartans lob it into Ward. Ward now dribbling around the perimeter, passes the ball off. And now there's a lot of perimeter passing. Winston to Ahrens, back to Winston. And now the feed off to Aaron Henry in the game for Michigan State. Feeds the ball back to Winston at the top of the key. Winston's guarded by Finney now with 5 on the shot clock at the top of the key. Winston dribbling with 3, dribbling with 2, and he floated up the shot. It did touch the rim, but it's rebounded by Indiana. 13:06 left to go in the first. The Hoosiers trying to drive, but the ball's kicked and it will go out of bounds. So another turnover by the Hoosiers, and Michigan State will get the ball back. 13:04 left to go in the first. The Spartans down by 4 as Cassius Winston will get the inbounds. Winston will take it past the Michigan State logo at the half-court circle. Guarded by Finney, driving towards his right now, dribbling with the ball, passes the ball off to Tillman. Now the feed inside to Nick Ward, guarded by 2 players. He dribbles back outside. Nick Ward now trying to dribble baseline inside, kicks the ball back out to Tillman, but another foul picked up by Indiana, and it will be their 4th team foul of the first half. So we have 12 minutes, 44 seconds remaining, and that will mean just another inbounds pass by Michigan State. So we get some subs into the game here for the Hoosiers. Checking out will be Dayron Davis for Indiana. And also checking out of the game's Romeo Langford. He leads the Hoosiers in scoring, averaging 17.3 points per game. Michigan State will get the inbounds. Throws it to the top of the key here when Nick Ward hands it off to Winston. Winston now guarded by Finney, dribbling with 14 on the shot clock. Feeds the ball, left wing in there, and another feed down low now. Nick Ward with a spin move in the low post, no good. Rebounded by Devontae Green of Indiana now. With the ball into the hands of Demezy Anderson, passes it off to Finney, who had the game-winning basket in non-conference play back in December against Butler. The shot inside, no good by Evan Fitzner. Rebounded by Michigan State. Spartans now with the ball. Right corner behind the three-point line with Matt McQuaid. Passes the ball inside to Nick Ward with a jumper in the low post, no good. Rebounded by Fitzner of Indiana. 12 minutes left to go in the first. Indiana's up 13-9. Hoosiers with the ball. Passing around the three-point arc now. Rob Finney has the ball guarded by Winston. The feed inside. Oh, the rejection by Nick Ward, though, to make sure that basket didn't go by the Hoosiers. And Michigan State going the other way with the ball as Indiana will pick up their 5th team foul of the first half. So we'll get back to action. Michigan State will inbound the ball. Once again, we have a timeout on the floor with 11:44 left to go in the first. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to spread the message and the word about my channel as well. And I'll update the score here in the chat as Indiana is up by 4. But yeah, Indiana's trying to snap this 7-game losing streak they're on, and this could put them right back into the tournament picture if you do that. With this, it could be a huge win against Michigan State. Michigan State's trying to come back after the loss in their last game last Sunday against Purdue. So both of these teams are really hungry for victories. As we'll check the scoreboard here in college basketball, see what we have going on for games, as Texas is on the bubble as well, and they lost by 5 at Iowa State, 65-60. Arkansas is on the bubble as well with Alabama, San Francisco, Arizona, Arizona State. Arkansas is playing at number 19 LSU in Baton Rouge, and the Razorbacks have a 25-20 lead right now, past the halfway point in the first half in that game. And then number 8 Nevada is up against Boise State 14-9 in that one. And then Florida, okay, yeah, so Florida is also on the bubble, and they lost by 11 today at Kentucky. So that was a big loss by Florida in the Gators, putting them more into like the NIT range. Ole Miss as well as towards the edge of the projection bracket. They lost at Mississippi State by 6 today, as we're on a commercial break right now between Indiana and Michigan State, as the Hoosiers are up by 4 currently with 11:44 left to go in the first. Pretty good game so far, as Indiana took the lead in the early stages here. I'll dig into the box score, see who's leading the scoring here. It looks like it's Jawan Morgan, who has 5 points currently for the Hoosiers, and then Romeo Langford adding in 4 points for the Hoosiers as well. So those are your top 2 scorers for Indiana. Michigan State, 5 points by Cassius Winston, 2 steals so far. Hasn't yet to add to his assist total, but I'm sure that will happen very shortly, as we are back to action here between Michigan State and Indiana. As we have another inbounds pass coming up for the Spartans. So Michigan State in their white jerseys with green lettering, Indiana in the red away jerseys with white lettering. The ball is tossed back to Nick Ward and throws it back into the hands of Cassius Winston now. Passes the ball back to Matt McQuaid now at the right corner with it right wing with McQuaid. Jumper at the free throw line. No good, as it couldn't fall for Aaron Henry. And we have a rebounding foul on Nick Ward of Michigan State. So the ball will go back to the Hoosiers. So Michigan State picks up their second foul as a team. Indiana has 5. The Hoosiers with the ball now with 11:25 left to go in the first, as they're dribbling the right side behind the three-point line with it, now dribbling to the left side. Devontae Green with the ball for Indiana, dribbling. Oh, he almost lost control of the dribble. Now we have 11:11 left to go in the first. The ball fed inside, low baseline, kicks it way back, right wing now with the ball behind the three-point arcs. Aljami Durham. And the jumper from the low baseline. No good, but it's an offensive rebound for Indiana. Devontae Green with the ball, trying to go inside past defenders. Couldn't get it to fall, but Indiana still saves the ball. Now with it at the left corner behind the arc, it was Evan Fitzner passes the ball off left. Wing 3, no good by Indiana. Rebounded by Winston. Winston takes it past the timeline, and the ball is kicked out of bounds by Jawan Morgan. So Michigan State will get the ball back on another inbounds pass. It seems like that's been the tale today. All these inbounds passes Michigan State has received early on in this one. So we have 10 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the first. Michigan State to inbound it, as the ball is tossed over to Kenny Goins, dribbling with the ball now, feeds the ball into the hands of Cassius Winston. Winston guarded by Finney. Winston dribbling left side of the court behind the three-point line. Winston trying to dribble inside. Baseline jumper for 2. No good. Rebounded by Indiana. So both of these teams have been cold scoring as of late. 13-9 right now. Right wing 3 from the outside. No good by Fitzner. Rebounded by Aaron Henry of Michigan State. Winston takes the ball past the timeline. Puts the ball inside to the hands of no good by Kenny Goins. Couldn't get that shot to fall, but the offensive rebound. Top of the key 3, Winston. And he hits it from the outside is Cassius Winston. 13-12. So finally somebody scored, and we have 9:46 left to go in the first. Indiana with the ball now. Dribbling, passing to the left wing 3. No good, rimmed out by Aljami Durham. But we have another foul called on Michigan State, so they'll pick up their third in the half with 9:38 left to go in the first. Has Nick Ward now on the bench for Michigan State, as he's second in the conference for shooting percentage, coming into this game with a 68.2 shooting percentage. Left elbow 2, no good by Indiana. Rebounded by Aaron Henry in Michigan State. Michigan State with the ball now. Henry the ball in his hands, passes it off to Winston. Winston guarded by Finney. Winston dribbling outside to inside, and he lays it up and in. Mental lapse on defense by Indiana because they forgot to man up on Cassius Winston, who was all alone there to lay it up and in. So Michigan State takes back the lead, 14-13. Indiana with the ball now. Passing around the right side of the perimeter with it. Jumper for three from the outside. No good by Langford. Rebounded by Henry of Michigan State. Winston with the ball in his hands. 8:52 left. Feeds the ball to McQuaid. Goes inside now with the ball. And it's up and in by Kenny Goins off the assist by Matt McQuaid. 16-13. Michigan State up on this run. And that is a 7-0 run for the Spartans, which forces Indiana to call a timeout here with 8:46 left to go in the first half. So I'll update the chat here with a score. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. I'll update that score for you guys. 16-13. Michigan State's up by 3 with 8:28 left to go in the first. So we'll dig into some of these stats for both of these teams. So far, Michigan State shooting the ball 35% from the field right now. Indiana's really, really cold shooting that ball. 26.3% from the field. They're 5-19 from their shots currently in this one. 1 for 6 from behind the arc for Indiana. They hit their first three-pointer of the game. They were perfect, and after that, they've gone stone cold, missing the last 5. Michigan State 2 for 7 from behind the arc. As we look to rebounds, Indiana's actually out-rebounding Michigan State right now, 17-11. Both of the teams pretty even in fouls. 5 fouls for Indiana. Michigan State has 4. So now we're back to action with this one. 8:28 left to go, and Indiana will inbound it. Down by 3 for the Hoosiers. Trying to look for somebody who's open, and the ball is fought for underneath, and Matt McQuaid tried to go for it as the ball went out of bounds. Michigan State almost stole it for a second. Indiana had it, and it looked like it was last touched by the Spartans as Matt McQuaid tried to go after the loose ball right in the left corner of the court, and it was touched out of bounds. Last touch by Michigan State, so Indiana will get the ball. 8:23 left to go in the first. Hoosiers looking to inbound it this time and looking for an open man this time. Lob over the top to Devontae Green. They find him open. He's guarded here by Foster Lawyer in the game now for the Spartans. Dribbling with the ball. Devontae Green, top of the key 3. And he hits it from the outside for Indiana. It's knotted up at 16. Michigan State with the ball. Matt McQuaid passes it off to Goins inside to Tillman. Tillman with a jumper, and he hits it home into the basket. 18-16. Michigan State up by 2. 7:52 left to go in the first. Indiana with the ball. Top of the key. Now dribbling towards the left with the ball. Romeo Langford with the ball as he feeds it to Aljami Durham. Down low now. Dayron Davis working baseline, and no, he couldn't get the shot to fall, but he'll go for the line for 2. Michigan State commits the foul. So another timeout on the floor. Thank you all for joining me on the stream. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And what I do is that I do live play-by-play and live reactions to commentary here of what's going on the stream that I'm watching for the basketball game. And we got ourselves an 18-16 game in this one with a timeout at 7 minutes 39 seconds remaining to go. So Indiana will go to the line to shoot 2 when we get back. I'll update the chat here. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my channel and like my videos as well. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. So yeah, pretty good game so far. Both of these teams have been really ice cold though from the floor, even though we've seen their totals pick up a little bit of the time. Michigan State shooting the ball around 38%, whereas Indiana shooting the ball from the field 30% right now. Shooting the ball for the Hoosiers. We'll look into the box score, see what's going on here with the leading scorers early in the game. Jawan Morgan has 5 points right now for the Hoosiers, leading Indiana. And then Romeo Langford has 4. Langford leads the team with an average of 17.3 points per game. Jawan Morgan is second right now in scoring for Indiana on the team. He averages around 16.4 points per game. We'll look to the box score from Michigan State. Cassius Winston again coming off that 23-point day against Purdue. He's already in double figures in this one. He has 10 points, 2 steals as well for Winston. Yet to have an assist, but I'm sure that's going to happen sometime in this game, as Cassius Winston's 6th right now in all college basketball in assists per game, as he averages around 7.3 assists per game. So yeah, Cassius Winston with double-figure points. After that, for Michigan State, 4 points off the bench by Xavier Tillman, and then 2 points by Nick Ward, 2 points by Aaron Henry. As we are still on commercial break, we'll hopefully get back to action within the next few minutes. Michigan State's first right now in the conference. Indiana is sitting at the bottom 4 in conference record right now, tied with Nebraska and Northwestern at 3 and 7. That loss on Wednesday against Rutgers really hurt them. Rutgers isn't even a team considered to be in the tournament bracket. I can't even remember the last time that they've been in the March Madness tournament. Rutgers right now has a record of 11 and 10, 4 and 7 in the Big Ten. Whereas like the Big Ten towards the very bottom, who is it? Illinois is in the very bottom. Yeah, Penn State is winless. They almost beat Purdue a few days ago, but Purdue took it to overtime and won. I think Carson Edwards had like 31 points that game for the Boilermakers. Yeah, Illinois is, I think they're like 2 and 8 in the conference. They're coming off I think it was last week in a huge win against Maryland that upset them. But now we're back to action here. Indiana at the free throw line. First shot, no good from the line by Daron Davis for the Hoosiers. So we have 7:39 left to go. Davis will attempt to shoot his second shot from the line. Here's his second one. That was nothing but net. So it's a 1-point game. Michigan State up 18-17. Daron Davis checks out of the game for the Hoosiers now. As now Cassius Winston has the ball, takes it past the timeline, passes the ball into the hands of Kyle Ahrens as they're passing around the perimeter. Winston now trying to dribble at the free throw line, kicks the ball inside to Tillman. Tillman backing his way inside, feeds the ball off in a 3-ball now as it's kicked back outside by Winston. No good, and offensive rebound, however, by Michigan State, as it looked like Indiana was going to have that one. And try to go for the slam dunk was Tillman inside, but he gets fouled anyway. He'll go to the line for 2. So Xavier Tillman wanted to throw that down with 2 hands, but he was fouled. Oh, no, it happened before the shot. Okay, wow, so it happened before the shot, the foul. So he won't go to the line, and Michigan State will get it back. And the shot good inside. The shot falls for Kenny Goins. 20-17, Michigan State's up by 3. Indiana now with the ball at the top of the key. Aljami Durham with it, passes it to Langford. Now they're moving the ball around the perimeter and trying to drive inside. Langford with it, and it falls short off the iron. He tries to go for his own rebound and gets it. Tips it back to Justin Smith, who airballs the 3. Rebounded by Michigan State. Now Winston trying to take the ball past the timeline, and the ball goes out of bounds. We'll see who the refs call it out on, and it looks like Cassius Winston has turned that ball over. Wasn't sure whose knee it bounced off of, Winston's or the defender for Indiana, but Indiana gets the ball back. 17-20, Indiana is down by 3. 6:22 left to go. Inside the low post for the Hoosiers, and no, the shot couldn't fall. Hit the short part of the rim by Indiana. It was Jawan Morgan who tried to go inside baseline, but the Hoosiers will get the ball in the inbounds. So we have 6:19 remaining, 20-17. Michigan State's up by 3. Indiana inbounds at Morgan, passes the ball now off to Langford, and now it goes to Devontae Green with it into the hands of Justin Smith. Smith backing his way next to Tillman. He's stripped of the ball. Michigan State now, and there's a fight for the ball down on the ground with two guys. Kyle Ahrens in there laying on the ground with Jawan Morgan, and both of those guys got tied up with the ball sitting on the floor with it, and it looks like possession arrow will go to the Spartans. So Kyle Ahrens will check out of the game for Michigan State. And it looks like Jawan Morgan is hurt on the ground next, right on the free throw circle. He is on his left shoulder. It looks like he hurt right there as the medical staff comes over to treat him with 6:04 left to go. So we have a timeout here for Jawan Morgan. This will be a big loss if he cannot come back and play. He's second on the team in points, averaging 16.4 points per game. Jawan Morgan first on the team in rebounds for Indiana, averaging 8 rebounds per game. Morgan's also third in the Big Ten in shooting percentage currently with a 59.3 shooting percentage. I'll update the chat here with the score, but this does not look good for Indiana. They're on a 7-game losing streak, and they cannot afford to lose one of their best players on this team. Hopefully he can get back up as he's treated by 2 medical staff trainers. Still on the ground trying to get him back up. And he does, and he's really clutching. I think it's the left shoulder that he's feeling, and it looks like he possibly separated it or something. Looks like that left shoulder is loopy and drooping down from the right shoulder. It does not look good for Jawan Morgan. So he'll go off to the tunnel underneath the arena. That's a big loss for Indiana. They can't let that happen to their season. Second in points per game, Jawan Morgan is first on the team in rebounds. That's a huge loss. So we're back to action. Michigan State now with the ball at the top of the key, moving the ball to the left wing with it. And now to the low post is Nick Ward, and he's deflected, swatted away by Indiana. Nick Ward wasn't expecting that ball to be blocked. With the ball now is Indiana at the left wing with it behind the 3-point arc, and the lob underneath to Deron Davis, backing his way next to Ward. Davis with a block on Ward the last time, and Davis again going over Nick Ward and gets the shot home. 1-point game, Michigan State up 20-19. Cassius Winston with the ball, passes it off. And now a lot of perimeter passing. Winston now passes it off to Matt McQuaid. Feeds the ball inside to Nick Ward, guarded by 2 defenders. Ward looking for somebody, finds Winston. Winston lobs the ball. And back to Winston with 9 on the shot clock. Winston feeds the ball open. Left elbow jumper. Deep 2 goes down for the Spartans. Xavier Tillman hits that one. We have a 22-19 game with 5 minutes left to go in the first. Indiana now with the ball. Dribbling with it towards the top of the key and now towards the left wing behind the 3-point arc. Rob Finnessy. With the ball now is into the hands of Romeo Langford. And we have a foul by Michigan State. With the score 22-19, Spartans up by 3. We have 4 minutes, 45 seconds left here. So the clock is just stopped with the 6th foul on the night by Michigan State. And not yet in the bonus, so Indiana will inbound it. So the pass goes to Devontae Green now for the Hoosiers as he feeds the ball back into the hands of Romeo Langford. Passes the ball left wing to Deron Davis. Passes the ball down top of the key with it's Justin Smith. Feeds the ball out, and now it goes underneath. Here's Deron Davis. Kicks the ball right wing. 3 and no good. Hits the bottom of the rim. Rebounded by Winston. Michigan State now with the ball. Pushing tempo. One-handed slam. Aaron Henry with a slam dunk for Michigan State. It's 24-19. 4:10 remaining in the first. Indiana with the ball, passing around the perimeter, trying to dribble baseline inside, and they cannot get it to fall. Michigan State trying to go after the ball. I thought they saved it for a moment before it went on the bounds. but maybe not, as we have the score now, 24 for Michigan State, 19 for Indiana, 4:02 left to play in the first. So the last possession was a ball that went out of bounds as Michigan State tried to save it, but Indiana looks like they got the ball back. So the Hoosiers will inbound the ball. So Hoosiers inbound it, and they throw it into the hands of Dayron Davis, and now the ball goes back to him. There's a jumper from the free throw circle, and it hits for Romeo Langford. 3-point game with 3:50 left to go. Cassius Winston now with the ball, as he's at the Michigan State logo at the half court. Guarded by Devontae Green. Winston trying to get around Green, dribbles towards his right side now, feeds the ball inside low baseline, kicks it back outside. Kyle Ahrens passes that one, and the 3-ball goes down. Kenny Goins from the left side of the 3-point line hits that one home. 27-21, Spartans up by 6. Indiana with the ball. Aljami Durham, guarded by Kyle Ahrens now, dribbling towards the right now with the ball, and now passing around the perimeter, left side with it for Indiana, trying to dribble inside, and they feed it back outside. More dribbling towards the free throw circle, inside, kicks it back outside, right corner 3, and it hits from the outside for Aljami Durham. 27-24. The shots are falling, going the other way, cross court, 2-handed slam for Xavier Tillman for Michigan State, as they crept past the Indiana defense, as the Hoosier defense was sleeping there. Michigan State drove win in seconds for the 2-handed slam, 29-24. 2:43 left to go. Indiana with the ball. Left wing behind the 3-point line, trying to dribble baseline now. And the left elbow jumper, and no good by Dayron Davis. Rebounded by the Spartans. Cassius Winston takes the ball past a group of defenders, but he stripped the ball in his hands and is going the other way. Indiana with the ball now, and that one goes out of bounds as Romeo Langford tried to go past a group of Spartan defenders and lay it in. So we'll get back to action in just a minute. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left to go in the first. Thank you for joining me, and I'll update the chat here, but Michigan State's up 29-24. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, spread the word about my channel, and feel free to subscribe. We have 2:22 left in the first. Michigan State right now with that 5-point lead as this half's about to close. We're going to have to see if there's any more updates coming out for Juwan Morgan, who went down, I think it was around the 6:04 mark. Yeah, he went down with that injury. He was clutching his left shoulder that looked to appear a lot lower than his right shoulder, and he was helped out by medical staff, and he went underneath the arena for Juwan Morgan. That would be a huge loss for Indiana if he cannot play for the rest of this season or even a few games, as Morgan's averaging 16.4 points per game. He's first on the team in rebounds, averaging 8-point game, third in the conference in shooting percentage, shooting the ball just below 60%. So that would be an absolutely huge loss for Indiana if they cannot get Juwan Morgan back. As we're in the waning minutes here before halftime, as Michigan State shooting the ball from the field a lot better than Indiana right now. Michigan State's 44.8% shooting from the field compared to Indiana, who's shooting the ball at 30%. Indiana, though, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Michigan State has yet to hit a free throw, as they were 0 for 2, but from behind the arc, both of the teams converting 3 of their 3-pointers, and Indiana actually out-rebounding Michigan State right now, 22-16. As we are on this commercial break, we'll look at the box score for both of these teams. We'll start off with the Spartans, already with a double-digit player so far in this one. Cassius Winston has 10 points. He has 3 assists. He has 4 rebounds as well and 2 steals. So a lot going to his name right now for Cassius Winston, already in double-digit points as this first half winds down. Kenny Goins with 5 points. Looks like Xavier Tillman coming off the bench is second right now for points for Michigan State. He has 8. And then for Indiana, Jawan Morgan had 5 points before he got injured. He had converted on a 3-pointer earlier on in the game. That could be a huge loss if they can't get Morgan back. And then it looks like Romeo Langford's leading the scoring right now for the Hoosiers with 6 points. So Michigan State using a little bit of a run to their advantage towards the end of this half as Indiana jumped out to the 13-9 lead, and then Michigan State went on to a 7-0 scoring run as they took back the lead. And now the Spartans are up by 5 with 2:22 left to go in the first. So we thank you for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to spread the word about my channel, as well as I'll be doing play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout the regular season all the way into the March Madness tournament. So Indiana will get the inbounds here. Yes, they do. And dribbling inside, Romeo Langford backing his way next to Winston. Jumper by Langford, no good. Offensive rebound. And couldn't go in. Yeah, couldn't go in from Indiana. Michigan State now with the ball, and the pass just goes over the hands of Tillman, who is down low. So the Spartans turn the ball over with 2:06 left to go in the first. So Indiana now has the ball down by 5. Rob Finney, who hit the shot at the buzzer against Butler, has the ball, and he hands the ball off now as Indiana's passing the ball around. At the top of the key with it is Devontae Green, dribbling with the ball, feeds the ball off to Finney. Finney at the free throw circle, trying to go his way inside, and Finney tried to get the assist right there, but the shot too strong off the backboard by Jake Forrester into the game for Indiana, and then the ball was tapped out of bounds. It looks like it was last touched by Michigan State. So the Hoosiers will get the inbounds once again. So they're still down by 5 with 1:38 left to go. As Kenny Goins checks out of the game for the Spartans. So 1:38 left to go in the first half. And the inbounds goes to Justin Smith, kicks the ball outside to Devontae Green as they pass it around the perimeter, left side behind the three-point line with Finney. Feeds the ball outside, dribbling now, outside to inside, and the feed down low, and Jake Forrester, two-handed James, that one to hit it home for Indiana, 3-point game, 29-26, Michigan State up by 3. 1:12 left to go in the first. Winston now dribbling with the ball, guarded by Devontae Green. Winston now dribbling towards the right side behind the three-point line, feeds the ball off at the free throw line, and the reach-in by Jake Forrester of Indiana, who tried to go for the steal there, but gets called with a foul. So that will be the 6th team foul on Indiana in the first half. So not yet at the line for the Spartans. Both of the teams have 6, so one more in there in the bonus. The lob pass on the inbounds to Tillman from Michigan State. Now at the free throw line, trying to go inside. They kick it inside, and Nick Ward with a two-handed jam in there for Michigan State. 31-26. Spartans up with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Indiana with the ball as they take it past the timeline. Devontae Green now passes it off to Romeo Langford. Right side with the ball, dribbling with it into the hands of Jake Forrester. Passes the ball off now to Justin Smith. As Indiana passing the ball around the perimeter, left side, and they feed the ball inside the low post. Justin Smith, he gets it up the glass and in. 31-28, so Indiana just keeps on fighting back. In this one, Michigan State with the ball now. Cassius Winston takes it past the left part of the timeline. 17 seconds left to go in the half. Winston, guarded by Devontae Green. Winston, and we have a timeout called on the floor by Tom Izzo. To talk things over here, but Michigan State up by 3, 31-28, with 12.3 seconds left to go in the first. I'll put the score here and update that in the chat. Thank you so much, all, for tuning in. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. And I'll be doing the live streams throughout the regular season all the way into the March Madness tournaments. This first half's just about to wind down. Tom Izzo taking a timeout so he can call up the play, develop some strategy here for Michigan State to see if they can sink in a shot before time expires at the half. So we have 12.3 seconds before the first half ends, as Michigan State will inbound it off the timeout by Tom Izzo to develop strategy to see if they can get a shot off here and sink the basket before the half. 7 seconds left. Ball into the hands of Cassius Winston, guarded by two defenders of Indiana. Winston now, left elbow deep two, rimmed out, and offensive rebound, but it couldn't get put back in time as the ball was airballed at the buzzer. Michigan State goes up at the half, 31-28 against Indiana. And thank you so much for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and I'll update the chat here with the score since we're at the half. 28 Indiana, Michigan State 31. So this game, we're at the halftime mark here between Indiana and Michigan State. The big concern would be for Jawan Morgan for Indiana, number 13, as he's second on the team in points per game, averaging 16.4 points per game coming into this one. And he's also first on the team in rebounds, as he averages 8 rebounds per game. He shoots the ball at around 59.3% from the field. That's good for third in the Big Ten Conference right now. This will be a huge loss for the Hoosiers if they can't get him back. He was injured at the 6-minute and 4-second mark in the first half when Indiana was down 20-17, where Morgan went clutching looked like his left shoulder or so, and then he was helped out by medical staff, and he had to be treated underneath the arena. Since we're at halftime right now, we'll look into the team stats and the box score. We'll start off with Michigan State shooting the ball 14 for 32. From the field, that's good for 43.8% shooting from the field. Indiana, 13% lower than that shooting from the field, as they're 11 for 36, good for 30.6% converted shots from the field. As we look to the rebounding game, Indiana and the Hoosiers, they're actually out-rebounding Michigan State right now, 26-18 in this one. And then we also have assist here, and it shows you why Michigan State is the top team in the nation coming into this game in total assists, as they have 13 now as a team compared to Indiana's 10 at the half. We'll look into the box score, see who the leading scorers are here. For the Spartans, Cassius Winston, already with double-digit points at the half. He has 10 points, added in with 2 steals, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds as well. Cassius Winston is 6th right now in all college basketball in average assists per game. He averages around 7.3 assists per game, as Cassius Winston with another double-digit point total, as he has scored double-digit points in all but one of his games this season. As we look to that Michigan State bench, all the scoring has been done by Xavier Tillman, who has 8 points. He also has a block to add to his name as well. Off the bench, Michigan State with 3 blocks in the first half, as Xavier Tillman shot 4 for 6 from the field. So he's second on the team right now in points coming off from the bench. As we look to Indiana in their leading scorers at the half, Romeo Langford with 6 points leading the way, 2 for 9 from the field for Indiana. Langford coming in leading the Hoosiers with an average of 17.3 points per game this season. And then second on the team is Jawan Morgan. He has 5, and unfortunately, he went down around the 6-minute mark in the first half with what appeared to be a left shoulder injury. So that's a little bit about both of the teams. Michigan State out to a 31-28 advantage at the half. We look to the Big 12 conference here with the standings inside, or Big 10 conference with the standings inside the Big 10. We'll talk about the Big 12 later with Kansas winning against Texas Tech and Texas losing on the road against ranked Iowa State. But here we are in the Big 10 standings. Michigan 9-1, they're first place right now in their conference. Michigan is now 9-2 since they dropped that game against Iowa last night. So that game put Michigan and the Wolverines below Michigan State now in the conference. Purdue right behind Michigan, 8-2 in the conference, as Purdue had an overtime victory against Penn State earlier this week, and they're coming off that other win back on Sunday against Michigan State. And then we have a group of teams here. All these teams look like they'll be in the tournament. However, Minnesota was destined for the bubble. If they keep on winning out, though, it looks like they'll definitely be in the tournament like they have been doing. Minnesota 6-4 in the conference, but right in front of them is Wisconsin and Maryland. Wisconsin was the first team to beat Michigan this season a couple of Saturdays ago, as Michigan went on the road at Madison and lost by 10. And then the Maryland Terrapins, coming off that loss last week, a huge upset they suffered against Illinois. Maryland looking strong again at 8-4 in the Big Ten Conference. Iowa, they needed that win, and they got it against Michigan, helping them out a lot. 6-5 in the conference, 17-5 overall. Ohio State just like right above the bubble, not considered to be a bubble team, but just right above it right now. They're 4-6 in conference play. And then Rutgers, playing spoiler to everybody right here, not even considered to be in the projected tournament bracket, 11-10 overall, 4-7 in the conference, but they had that big win against Indiana on Wednesday, 68-58, which has played spoiler to a lot of busting these teams trying to make it to the bubble. Nebraska, another bubble team as well, and it looks like they lost again today. So Nebraska falls to 3-8 overall, 13-9 in 13-9 record overall, as they've lost 5 in a row, so a big losing streak for them. And then at the very bottom of the Big Ten is Illinois, 3-8 in the conference, and then Penn State's winless at 0-10. So we're at halftime here, Michigan State and Indiana, and this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well to my channel if you wish, as we're at halftime between these two teams. Michigan State up by 3. As we'll look at some of the scores here in the Big Ten. So I wanted to see who beat Nebraska today, and it was Illinois. So this one went final, as Illinois, playing spoiler here, handing Alaska's 5th loss of the season, as the Fighting Illini won 71-64 earlier today. And then Ohio State at home, making sure that Rutgers didn't play spoiler back to them, as Ohio State improves to 14-7 overall, 4-6 in the Big Ten. So the Buckeyes beat Rutgers today, 76-62. And then this game at the half right now, Michigan State up by 3. We'll look at some of the other scores here on the scoreboard since we're on a commercial break at halftime. We'll look into top 25 first, see what's been going on in all college basketball today inside the top 25. There was that game earlier at noontime, the Virginia Tech game against North Carolina State, where NC State finished with only 24 points. Those 24 points are the lowest point total ever to be scored inside the shot clock era in all of college basketball. So North Carolina State gets known for that historically bad 24-point total performance today at home as well, as they shot the ball. I think it was around like 19% from the field. They shot that ball. Yeah, I'm looking at the stats of that game. Kerry Blackshear Jr. with another double-double for the Hokies, as he had 13 points and 13 rebounds in that game. And Wyatt Walker for North Carolina State, he had 12 rebounds, but he only had 3 points. I'll look into, I'm going to see some of these stats here since we're at halftime. North Carolina State against Virginia Tech today, the historically bad performance by the Wolfpack. 24 points, the lowest amount of points in the shot clock era ever in college basketball since we're at halftime. Yeah. Oh, wow, even lower than that. So, yeah, North Carolina State, as I'm looking at these stats, shot the ball 16.7% from the field in this entire game from three-point range. They shot the ball 7% from the field. Nobody reached double-digit points scored for NC State. The leading scorer for the Wolfpack was C.J. Bryce with 7. And then Blackshear led the way for scoring for Virginia Tech with 13, along with his 13 rebounds. I'm going to see some of these team stats since we're at halftime here. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, North Carolina State in this game earlier today at noontime, they shot the ball 9 for 54 from behind the arc. Good for 16.7% of their shots from three-point range. They were 2 for 28. There weren't even a lot of turnovers in this game. 12 turnovers by Virginia Tech, 10 turnovers by North Carolina State. It was just there was just no shots going down for both of these teams. Virginia Tech shot the ball from the floor 35.6%, 33% from behind the arc, but man, 16% from the field. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's how that game went down today. So we have about 5 minutes or so before we get back to the start of the second half between Michigan State and Indiana. Let's see what else happened on the scoreboard today. Texas trying to improve after the big win on Tuesday against Kansas at home, but they couldn't beat number 20 Iowa State in this one. The Cyclones just too much for them, as Iowa State won 65-60 against Texas. As we look to the other games today, Ole Miss beat Mississippi State the first time back at Mississippi State, but the second time in Oxford. Ole Miss could not beat the Bulldogs in this one, as Mississippi State beat Ole Miss 81-75. Ole Miss looking like they're dropping more towards the bubble right now, as a few weeks ago they went inside the top 25. It was the first time that Ole Miss had been in the top 25 since 2013, and now they've dropped out of the top 25, and they've been losing the past couple of games that sent them there. So as for top 25 games going on right now, we don't have many games. We just have, besides this game, we have 2 teams in the top 25 playing. And wow, so Arkansas trying to make a statement on the road at Baton Rouge against number 19 LSU, and they're doing it right now. Daniel Gafford with 19 points for the Razorbacks, up 56-46 against number 19 LSU, trying to make sure that LSU gets their first loss in SEC play right now, is Arkansas in the second half outscoring LSU 11-5. That game second half just started with 16:54 left to go. The other game going on right now, Nevada trying to reach the 21 win mark right now. Number 8 in the nation for the Wolfpack. They're up at halftime, 41-30 against St. John's. So Michigan State, Indiana will be back momentarily for the second half in this game. And make sure to tune in all season long to Behind the Arc Basketball to stay in the know on this channel. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well, and spread the word about Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. I'll be doing live streams of my play-by-play, live reactions to college basketball games throughout the season, so make sure not to miss a beat with any of the action. So we are getting closer to the second half starting out here. I'm going to look at the scoreboard, see what else we got for top 25 teams playing later today. And we have 2 AP top 5 teams playing in games that start at 8 o'clock tonight. Number 1, Tennessee, trying to look for their 20th win of the season as they hit the road and play at College Station, Texas, and this one at Texas A&M. So, number 1, Tennessee, 19-1 overall, 7-0 in the SEC, playing at College Station at Reed Arena versus the 8-11 Texas A&M Aggies, 1-6 currently in the SEC. And then the other game starting at 8 o'clock tonight, number 4, Gonzaga will be hosting San Diego, as that game will tip off 8 p.m. San Diego, 15-7 overall, 4-3 in the West Coast Conference. Gonzaga perfect at 7-0 in the WCC, 20-2 overall. So we're at halftime here. The next 2 games for Michigan State will be at Illinois, Tuesday at 7 p.m., which Illinois just keeps on playing spoiler to teams. They beat ranked Maryland last weekend, and then today they beat Nebraska, which Nebraska is on the bubble, and that is a loss that Nebraska could not afford today, as now they're on a 5-game losing streak. So at Illinois on Tuesday, 7 p.m. for the Spartans, and then Michigan State goes back home at East Lansing. That'll be next Saturday, 2 p.m. against Minnesota. Minnesota was one of those teams on the bubble, but recently winning games has helped them to climb back into that projected tournament bracket, as we're almost underway here for the second half. As we look to the upcoming schedule for the Indiana Hoosiers, the next 2 games will be at home for both of those games. They'll be at home 9 p.m. on Thursday against the Iowa Hawkeyes, who just played spoiler into Michigan, handing them their second loss of the season on Friday night. And then next Sunday, February 10th, 1 p.m., Indiana will be playing against Ohio State. That will be a big game as well for both of those teams. So we are heading back to action here to get the second half started. Indiana will inbound the ball. Romeo Langford in the game, who will inbound pass it here as the ref hands him over the ball with 20 minutes left to go, and he throws the ball over to Rob Finney now. So we have a whole new second half in store. 19:52 left. Indiana with the ball around the perimeter with it. Top of the key now to the left wing, dribbling towards the top of the key with the ball is Justin Smith. Dribbling now, passing around the perimeter. And now the ball's fed inside, low baseline. Daron Davis backing his way on board. Davis, and the first foul of the game called by Michigan State. With 19:37 left to go. Nick Ward is the guilty party of that one, as the Spartans pick up their first foul as a team tonight. So Indiana will inbound the ball again. 19:37 left to go in the second. Rob Finney lobs the pass over to Justin Smith, and now they kick it back outside. Now they feed the ball inside. Daron Davis backing his way on Ward again, who got committed to the foul the last time, and over Ward once again. 31-30, so Indiana strikes first in the second half. Michigan State now with the ball. Cassius Winston throws the ball out, and the lob pass inside. Ward short on his first one, gets the offensive board. Second one on the up and in by Nick Ward. But the refs will rule that the shot did not fall down. No. So there was a foul before the shot when Nick Ward got the offensive rebound. So Michigan State will inbound it. So it's still 31-30. 19:04 left to go. And we have another turnover by Michigan State. The ball goes out of bounds. They try to save it next to the baseline. So Indiana gets the ball back. 19 minutes to go in regulation. Hoosiers with the ball, down by 1, 31-30. Romeo Langford dribbling with the ball as he passes the ball. Now it's passed around the perimeter now. Langford. And the ball stolen out of the hands of Langford at the left corner. With the ball now, it's Aaron Henry, and he tried to go into the paint. His ball stolen. Indiana with the ball back, 2-on-1 advantage, and a lob over the top, no good. And up the offensive rebound, up and good by Justin Smith, and the foul as well by Michigan State. They pick up their second as a team in the half. As Smith will go to the line to shoot one. So Justin Smith on the fast break missed the first shot, but got the offensive rebound, put in his own tip back, and got fouled in the process, and they'll go to the line for one. And that one was an ugly free throw right there. Hit the short part of the iron. 3-ball right corner. Matt McQuaid sinks it in. 34-32. Spartans take the lead back. 18-20 left to go in the second. Indiana with the ball now. Romeo Langford dribbling, passes the ball into the hands of Durham. Durham dribbling, guarded by Henry, passes the ball now. Now it's back to Durham with it as he passes it to Langford. Langford feeds the ball inside to Dayron Davis, trying to go baseline on Nick Ward. Now inside the low post. Dayron Davis and his shot not even close. Hits the backboard, but a fight for the ball, and Dayron Davis got the ball back. So scores 34-32 with 17:54 left. And the refs will go over whether that ball went out of bounds, as there were a whole pile of bodies going for the ball right there. As it leads to an official review. Who last touched the ball, I guess, is what they're looking at with 17:54 left to go in the second. So I'll update the chat here with the score. So Indiana pulled out with the lead in the second half. Michigan State took it back. So we have an official review on the court, whether that ball goes out of bounds. Thank you for joining me. As Michigan State's up right now, 34-32 against Indiana, 17:54 left to go in the second half. It's a huge game for both of these teams, as they're both coming off losing records. Michigan State, or not losing records, but losing the past losing streaks here. Losing the past couple of games, as Michigan State lost the past game against Purdue on Sunday. And then Indiana has lost the past 7 games. They really need to snap out of this streak and have a big, big win. It could come here, but it's going to be tough to do it without Jawan Morgan, who went down with a shoulder injury around 6 minutes to go in the first half. So we still have the official review here on the court. And I'll say that it's Michigan State's ball, so I think that Indiana thought it was their ball, but it was last touched out of bounds by Indiana as they tried to go baseline with it. So Michigan State now gets the inbound off the official review. 17:42 left to go. Trying to dribble inside. Winston puts up the jumper. No good, but he's fouled and will go to the line for 2. So Cassius Winston from the free throw line this season is around 79% shooting from the charity stripe. Michigan State up 34-32 with 17:40 left to go. First shot by Winston. Hits in, nothing but net right there. 35-32. Checking out of the game for Indiana's Rob Finney. And second one hits that as well for Cassius Winston. So Michigan State's up 36-32. Indiana dribbling with the ball now. Jamie Durham passes the ball now, and a rejection underneath by Kenny Goins. As Devontae Green tried to dribble the ball down low and float up the right-handed lay-in. And Goins was right there to reject that shot and put it into the cheerleaders. So Indiana to inbound it, down by 4 with 17:26 remaining. The Hoosiers looking for the open man, finally finds him at the free throw line, extended towards the right side, dribbling the ball now and passing around the perimeter. Right wing three, no good. Rimmed out, rebounded by Michigan State. Cassius Winston takes it past the timeline, top of the key three, no good. Rimmed out by Michigan State, rebounded by Indiana. Down by 4 with 17:04 left to go in regulation. Dribbling with the ball now as Devontae Green passes the ball. Try to go inside. Justin Smith, no good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2 as he was fouled right there with 16:59 left to go in the second. So Justin Smith shooting at the charity stripe for Indiana. On the season, he's a 56% free throw shooter. Here's the first one, and he could not get that one to fall. Hoosiers still down by 4. Second shot from the line by Smith, and he hits that one. Sinks it in, 36-33. Michigan State with the ball. And we have a timeout called with 16:54 left to go. We have the stoppage in time here. As Indiana will pick up another foul, Michigan State will get the ball back in the inbounds. As they do, Matt McQuaid with it, top of the key. Throws the ball inside the low post of Ward. Kicks it back out to McQuaid. Back to Ward. Ward, guarded by one Hoosier defender. Ward trying to lay it in, and he just puts the ball over the backboard, but he was fouled. Nope, he wasn't fouled. Nope, so Michigan State will turn over the ball by Nick Ward, who tried to back his way inside, and Jake Forrester of Indiana was all over him. Okay, yeah, so the refs will meet together, and they say that he indeed, yes, was fouled on the shot, so he'll go to the line. And the first one is a miss for Nick Ward. So Ward is shooting 68.2% from the charity stripe this season. Second one hits the top of the rim, no good. But the offensive rebound for Michigan State. Kenny Goins, but there's a tie-up, and it's stripped away by Indiana. They take it past the timeline now as Indiana has the steal. Trying to dribble, baseline, too strong off the glass by the Hoosiers. They couldn't get it to fall. The first shot, the second shot, no, and lost control of the ball. Out of bounds is Justin Smith for the Hoosiers. You can't believe that one. They had the golden opportunity to score for Indiana. Couldn't get in the basket on the fast break, and then 3 Hoosiers fought for the offensive rebound, fighting over it with teammates, and then the ball landed on the floor, and then Justin Smith tried to save it, and it rolled out of his hands out of bounds. So now Cassius Winston has the ball, dribbles the ball, throws it back to the left wing, now into the hands of Tillman. Back to Winston. And the ball was rejected off his hands, but Michigan State gets it back. Winston trying to go inside, lays it in, and it goes off the glass up and in for Cassius Winston, 38-33. So both of these teams have been quite cold scoring from the field in the first 4 minutes, 15 seconds of the second half. 3 ball from the outside, nothing but net. Evan Fitzner hits the three-pointer. 38-36, Indiana's only down by 2. Michigan State with the ball. Ball thrown into the low post to Nick Ward. Nick Ward backing his way in there, guarded by Forrester. Oh, the one-handed slam by Nick Ward with authority. (38-36). Nick Ward threw it down, but I think, yeah, they got a foul on Jake Forrester. as well. So I'm going to update the chat here with a score 15.5 left to go in the second. Michigan State up by 2, 38-36. Nick Ward just threw that down with authority with a one-handed jam. So we haven't had the opportunity to look at these stats for both of the teams in the second half. Cassius Winston leading the Spartans now with 14 points. He has 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and he has 2 steals as well to go along with his name, as he is first right now in points for his team in this game. As we look to the leading scorer right now for the Hoosiers would be, well, there's a couple of guys here that's tied with 7 points. Deontay Davis has 7 off the bench. Indiana altogether right now has 15 points coming from their bench with Davis, Fitzner, Forrester, and Green. And then also 7 points would be Justin Smith has 7 points right now for the Hoosiers, 4 rebounds as well, and a block and an assist as well for Justin Smith. So we'll look to some of these team stats as we're into the second half here at commercial break with 15.5 left to go in the second. We see that Michigan State is shooting the ball much better from the field compared to Indiana. 44.4% shots converted from the field for the Spartans. Indiana is 31.8% shooting from the field. From three-point range, both of these teams have sunk down 4 shots from the three-point line. As we look to the rebounding game, Indiana out-rebounding Michigan State right now, 31-22. But the blocks have been the big thing for Michigan State today. 10 blocks as a team for Michigan State, 2 blocks for Indiana, 15 assists by the Spartans, 12 assists by the Hoosiers. We'll look to see who those blocks were for. Oh, goodness, yeah. We got to get into this stat line. Kenny Goins with 7 blocks right now. We still have 15.5 left to go in the second. So Kenny Goins responsible for 7 out of the 10 blocks for Michigan State. Nick Ward with 2 blocks, and then Xavier Tillman with 1. So, wow, just Michigan State putting on a block show today. A lot of those balls just were swatted out of bounds or so. But, yeah, when you need the defense, you got it. And Michigan State is proving it with the big men down low. And right now they have 10 blocks on the game as we're almost back to action with 15.5 left to go in the second. Michigan State up by 2. So we will get back to action here very shortly with Michigan State and Indiana. Michigan State coming off the loss against Purdue on Sunday. That was their last game. Indiana losing 7 in a row, including the last game against Rutgers. Inbounds for the Spartans. Ball into the hands of Nick Ward, guarded by 2 guys underneath Ward. Now he's still backing his way in there, guarded by Daron Davis now, and he puts it over Davis. So Davis kept on putting the ball over Ward in this game, and Nick Ward just put it over Davis. 40-36, Michigan State up by 4. Here's Daron Davis working on Ward, kicks the ball back outside now. Devontae Green passes the ball off to Romeo Langford, now dribbling right corner of the perimeter, and now it's into the hands of Fitzner. Back to Langford. Langford, deep 2 jumper, and it almost went in, but no, rebounded by Tillman. Michigan State with the ball up by 4. 14-45 left to go in the second. Winston dribbling with the ball, passes it off to Tillman, who throws the ball down low to Ward and is stolen away by Fitzner of Indiana. Down by 4 for the Hoosiers. Dribbling with the ball, top of the key, Devontae Green kicks it back outside of Fitzner. Try to drive, baseline, 2-handed slam for Aljami Durham, who gets things going for the Hoosiers. We got ourselves a 2-point game here with 14-18 left to go in the second. Winston now dribbling with the ball. Trying to go past the defender, and that alley-oop jam. The Xavier Tillman, just another assist added to the profile of Cassius Winston as Xavier Tillman gets the lob over the top and jams it home, and another block by Michigan State on Tillman once again. But there's a foul on the play as well. So Indiana's down by 4 with 14:01 left to go, and the Hoosiers will go back to the charity stripe as Matt McQuaid checks out of the game. Actually, no, the refs will rule that there wasn't a foul on the play as it was just a block shot, so Indiana will get the ball back. The Hoosiers now moving the ball around the perimeter. Towards the top of the key, Fitzner passes the ball off to Durham. Durham kicks the ball out left corner, trying to dribble baseline, reverse, and layup up and good. For the Hoosiers, 42-40. Indiana's only down by 2. Michigan State with the ball now, passing it around the perimeter. Right wing three from behind the arc, no good by Winston. And the offensive rebound, though, by Kyle Ahrens. And we have a stoppage in time with 13:37. Thank you for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe, as well as I'll be doing play-by-play live reactions all season long to college basketball games as we're back to action momentarily here with 13:37 left to go. I think the refs will talk some things over as far as what happened on the last possession here with an official review with 13:37 left. Cannot believe that this game has been this close. It doesn't feel like it's been this close at all. Feels like Michigan State has been in through the lead throughout this entire game. I cannot believe that this game's been this close. As we have an official review now. Michigan State's up 42-40 with 13:37 left. As the officials will look at the monitor. I'm going to look at the stats here as we thank you for joining in. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and I do live streams of my play-by-play and live reactions with commentary throughout college basketball games throughout the season, and we'll do this all the way into the March Madness tournament as well. Cassius Winston leading the Spartans now with 14 points today, so in double figures, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals as well to go along with it. But the big stat here has got to be the blocks for Michigan State. 10 blocks, 7 blocks right now by Kenny Goins. Just a big block show put on by the Spartans today at home. They're shooting the ball much better from the field than the Hoosiers today, so that's what they're doing. They're leading the block game, but Indiana's been getting more rebounds than Michigan State throughout this one, though. So we should be back to action momentarily as the refs are discussing about what's going on here with an official review with 42-40 to score, and the number 6 Michigan State Spartans up by 2. So I'll give you a couple of scoreboard updates since we're waiting. But Arkansas against LSU, this game belongs to Arkansas, who's up by 12, 75-63 over number 19 LSU now. So the Razorbacks trying to get back into that bubble contention with a huge win here at Baton Rouge. And they're trying to look to hand LSU their first loss of the season in SEC play, as the Tigers have been in an absolute huge win streak this season as we are almost back to action. The officials are still reviewing here with 13:37 left to go. We also have boos from the crowd here in Michigan State because it's taken so long to get back to this game on what happened. So it looks like It'll result in Indiana shooting at the free throw line, and the first one goes down for Romeo Langford. So the Hoosiers now are down by 1, but they need one more to tie it. Michigan State up by 1. Here's the second shot, and that one hits the front part of the rim and off. So we have ourselves a 42-41 game with 13:37 left. The Hoosiers will get the ball in the inbounds as well. So Evan Fitzner will inbound this one to Aljami Durham now for the Hoosiers as he takes it past the Spartan logo. Dribbling with the ball, guarded by Aarons. He passes the ball off to Devontae Green, dribbling now towards the top of the key. Green, guarded by Goins, who has 7 blocks tonight. Now they pass it around the perimeter for the Hoosiers, only down by 1, 13-15 left to go. Trying to dribble baseline, kicks it back outside left wing, and they have 6 on the shot clock. And the left wing 3 goes down from the outside, and the Hoosiers back in front, 44-42. Michigan State down by 2, 13 minutes left to go. As the ball is into the hands of Aaron Henry, and he finds Cassius Winston with 18 on the shot clock, 12:52 left to go. Lobs the ball inside. Kenny Goins with it now, feeds it off back outside to Cassius Winston. And the ball tipped up in the air, tried to go for the reverse hand layup for Goins, couldn't get it, kicks it back outside. 3 ball from the outside, sinks it by Kyle Aarons. And Michigan State retakes the lead, 45-44. 12:27 left to go in regulation. Indiana down by 1. With the ball now is Romeo Langford towards the top of the key, dribbling towards his right. And he passes the ball off to Devontae Green, and now inside's Dayron Davis, backing his way in there. The shot no good. Rebounded by Goins. Michigan State now with the ball as they take it past the timeline. This is Cassius Winston now with it. Passes the ball to Goins. Back to Winston. Dribbling towards his left side. Winston beats defenders up and in off the glass. 47-44. Michigan State up by 3. 11:52 left to go. Indiana now with the ball. Aljami Durham dribbling as he feeds the ball off to Langford. As they keep on passing around the perimeter. Fitzner to Langford. Now they're going inside. Dayron Davis trying to back his way on Tillman. Tillman trying to play defense once again, and the ball off the mark, rebounded by Tillman. Winston takes it past the timeline now with 11.5 left to go. And a turnover on the court. So by Michigan, yeah. Just going to go to the play-by-play here. Okay, yep. So Cassius Winston turned the ball over. And it will go back to Indiana with 11:31 left after the commercial break. So right now, Michigan State's up 47-44. I'll update the chat here again for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. 47-44. Spartans up by 3 in the second half. There's been full lead changes right now. Yeah, so it doesn't feel like it's this close of a game, but yeah, Indiana just keeps on creeping into Michigan State, and they actually retook the lead for just a little bit, and then Michigan State got it back. But let's see. We'll look at the box score here for both of these teams. Michigan State, and their leading scorer is Cassius Winston with 16 points. He has 5 assists as well, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals to add to his game log for tonight. And then second on the team, coming off the bench for Michigan State, is Xavier Tillman, adding in 10 points. And this to note for Michigan State is that Kenny Goins has 7 blocks in this game, 10 blocks total for the Spartans in this one. As we look to the Indiana scorers, it looks like Justin Smith Yeah, he's tied with Romeo Langford and Deron Davis. Both of those guys have 7, so they're tied for second right now at the team high. Looks like Aljami Durham's leading the scoring for Indiana with 8 points. Currently 2 for 4 from behind the arc for Durham. I'm going to see, let's see about both of these team stats right now as we're on this commercial break. Yeah, so I'm looking at the box score here for the team stats. 47.6 shooting from the field currently from Michigan State, whereas Indiana shooting the ball 34% from the field. They're 17 for 50 with their shots right now. Both of the teams are 5 for 13 from the field currently in this one. And the rebounding game going to Indiana, 32 to 26, out rebounding the Spartans currently in this one. As we're on the timeout here, we have 11 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in the second. So thank you for joining me in here. Michigan State has a 3-point lead currently. And Indiana will get the ball back. So the ball is into the hands as it's taken past the timeline with Romeo Langford, who has it for Indiana. Dribbling with the ball at the top of the key. He's guarded by Henry, trying to make a move past Henry, and that ball gets swatted out of bounds. It'll go back to Indiana on the inbounds. So Indiana's down by 3, 47-44. Looking for somebody who's open. Finally finds him left corner now. Dribbling towards the top of the key. Throws the ball out towards the right wing, but it's Rob Finney. Finney dribbling towards the top of the key. Feeds the ball off to Durham. Still dribbling with the ball, trying to go inside. Durham stripped away the ball out of bounds. And the refs rule it's a turnover by Aljami Durham of Indiana, and the ball will go back to Michigan State. So Michigan State up with 11:05 left to go, 47-44. Cassius Winston with the ball as he takes it past the timeline. Winston dribbling over to his right, feeds the ball top of the key. And now it goes into low post. Nick Ward hits that one home into the net, up and in, down the low post. 49-44, Michigan State up by 5. Indiana now with the ball passing around the perimeter with it. Dribbling, thought about taking the left deep elbow shot, couldn't get it to fall. Ball tipped up in the air, stolen away by Michigan State. Winston feeds the ball inside and tried to go reverse hand, floated it up with Aaron Henry. Ball couldn't go. But we have a foul again called by Indiana, and Michigan State will go back to the line. The Spartans up by 5, 49-44 with 10:26 remaining in regulation. Be Nick Ward at the line from Michigan State. First shot from the line and could not go down as it hit the front part of the iron and back out at him. Nick Ward from the free throw line this season is shooting the ball at 68.2% coming into this game. The second shot from the line by Nick Ward, and it rims out as it almost went in, but it rimmed out, rebounded by Indiana. Taken past the timeline with it is Devontae Green. He's still dribbling with the ball behind the arc, passes the ball off now. Indiana with the ball as they're passing it around the perimeter. Dribbling, trying to feed the ball down low for the Hoosiers, and it goes out of bounds. So another turnover by Indiana, and it will go back to the Spartans here. With 10:08 left to go in the second. Michigan State now with the ball into the hands of Cassius Winston, who's dribbling with it as he's guarded by Devontae Green. Winston passes the ball off, and now the feed inside to Nick Ward, looking for somebody who's open. Ward finally kicks it back outside, trying to dribble inside, kicks it back outside. Winston trying to go inside to float it over the top, no good. Ball for underneath. And it was last touched by Indiana, so the inbound will go back to Michigan State. Now at the top of the key with the ball is Kenny Goins, who passes it off. And now the jumper from the free throw line, no good by Kyle Ahrens, rebounded by Indiana. The Hoosiers now with the ball, trying to push tempo, going across the court, no good. Is that a goaltending for Indiana? Yes, so Indiana gets the points. Laid up and in by Justin Smith as Michigan State swatted it out as it was trying to go across the cylinder, so add 2 more to the Hoosiers, and we got ourselves a 49-46 game. Cassius Winston now with the ball from Michigan State. And a jumper from downtown hits it at the top of the key for Cassius Winston, 52-46. Michigan State needed that one. 9-10 left to go in this game. Indiana now with the ball as they try to feed it inside. Justin Smith, and he puts it in the net. 52-48. Back and forth scoring here. With the ball now, Aaron Henry has it. The feed down low to Nick Ward, and we got ourselves another foul on the play as Nick Ward daps up his teammates and knows that he'll be going to the line for the 1-and-1. So the score right now is 52-48. Michigan State's up by 4 with 8:56 left to go. Nick Ward will discuss some things over with Tom Izzo while he does that. I'll update the chat here with a score. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. Spread the message about my channel as well. So a little bit of a stoppage in time here with 8:56 left to go. Michigan State's up 52-48. Whereas we look to this upcoming schedule for the Spartans, as they play against Illinois next. At Illinois, that game's at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night. Whereas Illinois is sitting at the bottom of the conference along with Penn State, but they played spoiler today and beat Nebraska, who Nebraska's on the bubble, and now the Cornhuskers have lost 5 games in a row. And then their second game at home next Saturday, 2 p.m. against Minnesota, as the shot from the line, no good by Ward, rebounded by Indiana, so he could not convert on his one shot from the line. And the Hoosiers have the ball now. Dribbling with it behind the arc. Devontae Green passes the ball off, and Green had it back as he tries to pass the ball inside to Smith, and he couldn't get it to fall. Nick Ward comes up now with the ball and into the hands of Cassius Winston from Michigan State. Winston dribbles back. Now Michigan State has it right side behind the perimeter. Winston with 8:20 left. Calling the play here, slowing down the tempo. Dribbling towards the right side behind the perimeter. Feeds it off to the top of the key. The ball inside down low to Nick Ward, and he slams at home underneath the basket, but the officials will call an offensive foul by Nick Ward. Tom Izzo cannot believe that. So they won't award the bucket. It's still 52-48, and Indiana will get the ball. Michigan State can't believe that. Their fans right now furious that that wasn't called. Indiana now with the ball. 4-point game with 8 minutes to go. Dribbling from the outside behind the arc, trying to go baseline with his Romeo Langford, guarded by 2 defenders. And he tried to get it over the top of Tillman and Ward, and he'll be going to the line for 2. So both of the teams now with 7 fouls in the second half. Indiana's only down by 4. They're managing to stay in this game. 7:55 left to go in regulation. Got a good game here. I'll update the chat, as this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Yeah, this game seems not as close as I think that it is. Like, it seems like Michigan State's held this like lead throughout the game, but it seems like they've had like a 9 or 10 point lead, not like a 4 point or 2 point lead throughout. This is really, really close, like closer than it seems. As yeah, I'll look to this. I'm gonna look to the scoreboard right now. So, yeah, a few minutes ago when I was reporting the score, Arkansas against LSU. Arkansas was up by I think like 12 against LSU, but look at this, 5.5 minutes left. LSU has climbed back in this game, and they're down by 4 against the Razorbacks. So LSU trying to stay perfect inside SEC play. As we look to other games going on right now in college basketball inside the top 25, it looks like number 8 Nevada will be improving to 21-1 overall as they're trying to close out their last 4 minutes against Boise State, up 84-69 over there at home. As for games earlier today, the number 11 Kansas Jayhawks improving in the Big 12 now with a big win against number 16 Texas Tech, 79-63. So Kansas, with that win, they're no longer on a losing streak as they came into that game losing against Kentucky and then lost that on Tuesday against Texas. So that was a big win for the Jayhawks against the Red Raiders. So we look to other games starting in less than 10 minutes. Number 1 Tennessee going up against Texas A&M at College Station for that game. The Vols trying to get to the 20 win mark on the season and trying to improve to 8-0 in the SEC. San Diego playing at number 4 Gonzaga as well. That game's at 8 p.m. in Spokane. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that Arkansas LSU game because that's mighty, mighty close right now. With like 5.5 left to play. This game's 7:55 left in. Got ourselves a 4-point game. So we're almost back to action, and Michigan State, Indiana, as the Hoosiers will go to the line here. It will be Romeo Langford, the freshman from New Albany, Indiana, shooting at the line. He's 71.9% from the free throw line this season. As here's the shot by Langford. And the first one hits nothing but net right there for Romeo Langford. And it's a 3-point game in East Lansing. Romeo Langford getting ready for his second shot from the charity stripe. Hits that one as well. Nothing but net for both of those. 52-50. We got ourselves a good, close game here. Number 6, Michigan State, Indiana. Indiana trying to stay in this March Madness bubble bracket here and trying to not move back to NIT range as Michigan State has the ball, passing around the perimeter, trying to drive inside, and foul is called by Indiana, so they'll pick up their 8th foul of the night by the Hoosiers, and Michigan State will go to the line. So we have 7 minutes, 36 seconds left to go. Michigan State is up by 2, 52-50. Aaron Henry from the line, and he misses. It's rebounded by the Hoosiers now. 7:30 left to go. Indiana, all they need is a 2-pointer to tie, a 3-pointer to take the lead. 7:22, ball fed inside to Daron Davis, trying to go over Tillman, kicks the ball back outside. 3 from the outside, it is nothing but net. Indiana takes the lead right back. Devontae Green with the 3-pointer, 53-52. As the Hoosiers are on a run of their own here, 5-0 run. Michigan State with the ball. Matt McQuaid dribbling, passes it off. Winston kicks the ball inside, and a 2-handed slam jam down. Kenny Goins throwing it down. 54-53. Another lead change with the Spartans taking it right back. 6:38 left to go. Indiana with the ball. Dribbling around the perimeter with it. Passing it left wing three. Nothing but net from the outside. Aljami Durham hits the shot. We got a 2-point lead for the Hoosiers. Cassius Winston takes the ball past the timeline now from Michigan State. Got ourselves a 2-point game. 6:18 left to go. Matt McQuaid with the ball. Throws the ball off. Winston passes it inside to Tillman. Guarded by 2 defenders. Kicks the ball back outside of McQuaid. McQuaid trying to drive down low. Nice assist. And the bucket falls for Kenny Goins off the glass. But the offensive foul was called before that. So Matt McQuaid charged with the offensive foul, and the bucket will not count. So that was a good play set up there. Just the offensive foul that happened. So erase the bucket. 56-54. Indiana's still up by 2. With the ball is Romeo Langford in his hands, guarded by McQuaid. Towards the Michigan State logo. Passes the ball off now to Jake Forrester in the game for Indiana. Now he's moving the ball around the perimeter. Trying to go inside. Floats it over the top, up and in by Romeo Langford of the Hoosiers. But he's called with the offensive foul. So again, offensive fouls have been the key. And the bucket won't count. Yeah. So the last 2 possessions by both of the teams push-offs is Indiana now with the bonus and fouls. Michigan State with 8 fouls as a team. Michigan State now with the ball, top of the key with it. As it's into the hands of Matt McQuaid now, trying to dribble baseline down low. Oh, he gets knocked down. And Matt McQuaid will go to the line for 2 to try to tie this game up. 5:32 left to go, and I'm going to update the score here since Indiana is in the lead. And we have another player in pain. And this time it's Aljami Durham for Indiana. They cannot lose another player. Can't afford that. Jawan Morgan's already out of the game. He injured his left shoulder earlier in this one. And now, there's a crouching down, going back to the benches is Durham. Yeah, they can't afford this. That's their second injured player of the game. Yikes. So not 1, but 2 Indiana Hoosier players have gone down in this game. As obviously Aljami Durham is in a lot of pain. It looks like it could be his hand that he was crutching and holding right there. As Michigan State's at the line with Matt McQuaid, who bumped right into him. First shot from the line, and it misses by McQuaid. Matt McQuaid has 4 points tonight. He's usually pretty efficient at shooting the 3 ball, but he hasn't got it to fall down. Second shot from the line, and gets that one with a friendly roll. As it looks like Durham is headed under the tunnel for the Hoosiers. 56-55, Michigan State down by 1. With the ball now in the hands, Forrester, deep 3, and he hits it from the outside. Is Jake Forrester for the Hoosiers with a 4-point lead, 59-55. Michigan State with the ball past the timeline into the hands of Cassius Winston now, who's dribbling towards the right side with the ball. Feeds the ball top of the key 3. Nothing but net as he sinks it. Kenny Goins from the outside. We got ourselves a 1-point game. Under 5 remaining. Rob Finney now with the ball as he takes it past the timeline. Indiana with the ball. Devontae Green in his hands. Try to lob it over the top. It's stolen. Cassius Winston now has it in his hands for Michigan State, trying to take back the lead. Down by 1 for MSU. And the ball swatted away from the back of the hands by Winston. And it looks like we'll get an inbounds coming up. So Michigan State down by 1, 59-58 with 4:40 left to go in regulation. As this ball is fed off to the right corner with it's Winston. Winston now, free throw line extended, trying to dribble inside now. Winston, and he puts it off the top of the rim, up and in. Takes back the lead. Michigan State up 60-59. Indiana with the ball now. Rob Finney dribbling towards the right side behind the 3-point arc. Passes it towards the left side. Left side with it behind the 3-point arc with Romeo Langford dribbling. at the free throw circle. Kicks it back outside, right wing three. Nothing but net from the outside. Devontae Green showing you the touch. Lead change again, 62-60. Indiana's up with 4:03 left to go. Winston with the ball. The ball is tipped. It's almost stolen with a foul, as Justin Smith was trying to go after the loose ball for Indiana. So we have a TV timeout here on the floor. I'm going to update the chat here with the score. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe, and spread the word as well about my channel. And wow, what a great game, and hopefully a great finish in store for this one. Indiana 62, Michigan State 60 with 3:58 left to go. I'm going to update the chat right now so we can get this latest score out of the game. Yeah, this would be a huge win for the Hoosiers to win if they could, without two of their top players basically in the starting lineup right now who got injured. Aljami Durham looked like he injured his hand on a couple of possessions ago. He went under the tunnel, and then Jawan Morgan early on, around 6 minutes to go in the first half, he injured his left shoulder and he went under the tunnel for that one. As this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, what I do is I do live play-by-play and reactions to college basketball games throughout the regular season, all the way into the March Madness tournament. So feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. We got a good finish in store, hopefully, for this one. 62-60, Indiana's up. We have a commercial right now, so we're going to be back to action in a couple of seconds. But yeah, let me dig into some of these box scores here for both of the teams. So Michigan State with their leading scorer, Cassius Winston, with 21 points right now for the Spartans. He has 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Coming off the bench, Xavier Tillman has 12 points as well. How about this stat for Michigan State? 8 blocks tonight by Kenny Goins. 13 blocks as a team for the Spartans, as we'll be back to action in a couple of minutes as we're on a commercial break. But this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my channel, spread the word, and share and subscribe to my channel as well if you like. A great finish hopefully in store for this one, 62-60. We're on commercial break right now. What I do is play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout the season, and I'll be doing it into the March Madness tournament, of course, as we look to Indiana in their box scores since we're on this break right now. 12 points leading the way for Romeo Langford, and then 11 points by Justin Smith, and then Davion Davis as well with 11 points off the bench for the Hoosiers. We look to the Hoosiers bench points, and there's 23 bench points so far for Indiana, so doing fairly well off the bench. And looks like 15 points off the bench by Michigan State. We're almost back to action here. The big thing to note, though, was that second on the team in scoring for Indiana, Jawan Morgan, coming into the game, averaging 16 points per game. He got injured around the 6-minute mark left to go in the first half, as he went down with a left shoulder injury, it appeared to be, and he went underneath the tunnel to get checked out there. And then a few minutes ago as well, a big loss for Indiana. Again, Aljami Durham went down with what appeared to be a hand injury. So they've had 2 injured players in this game. I'm going to look at the point total for Durham because he was helping out Indiana a lot today. Yeah, he had 11 points. He's tied for second in the team on scoring right now, and he got injured as well. So Indiana's up by 2 against the Spartans. Michigan State at the line, it will be Kenny Goins. He has 8 blocks to his name. Missed the first from the free throw line. We have 3:58 left to go, but he's in the double bonus, so he'll shoot a second one. As this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, feel free to like my channel and my videos and spread the word about my channel. Feel free to subscribe as well. Hits the second shot from the line. 1-point game, 62-61. Rob Finney with the ball in his hands, passing the Spartans logo now for Indiana. Passes the ball to the right wing now with it for the Hoosiers, top of the key. Throws the ball out. Left wing with the ball is Justin Smith. Feeds it back to Devontae Green behind the three-point line now for Indiana. Indiana with the ball, dribbling, trying to go inside. Step back jumper deep two. And it gets the courtesy of the rim. Up and in. Hit the front rim part. Went to the back iron. And it went into the net. 64-61. Indiana trying to pull off the upset. And they're trying to make sure that their 7-game losing streak doesn't extend to 8. Michigan State, left corner three, no good by McQuaid, rebounded by Forrester of Indiana. 3:08 left to go in this one. Rob Finney with the ball now, takes it past the timeline for the Hoosiers. Passes the ball off to Langford now, right wing with it. And now left wing with the ball behind the three-point arc. Indiana with the ball behind the arc, up by 3 with 2:46 left to go. Dribbling baselines, Finney. He hit the game winner against Butler back in December. No good. Rimmed out. Rebounded by Michigan State. Spartans trying to tie this up. Ball into the hands of Cassius Winston. Winston dribbling towards his left side behind the three-point line. Winston feeds the ball off to Goins. Passes it now to Aarons. Aarons inside to Tillman, guarded by 2 defenders. Takes it back outside. Tillman with the ball. Calling the play in. Oh, it's swatted out of the hands by number 4, Jake Forrester. But Forrester in the process will be called on the foul. Michigan State will go to the line. So if you're just joining us, the score is Michigan State with 61, Indiana with 64. Michigan State at the free throw line here for, I think it's a 1-and-1. I don't think, or maybe looks like, a double bonus actually. Yeah, Indiana is in the 1-and-1 right now because Michigan State only has 8 fouls as a team. Indiana's way over the 10 mark. So 2 shots from the line for Xavier Tillman for Michigan State. First shot. It goes home. Sinks that one through. 64-62. So Michigan State's down by 2. Xavier Tillman shooting from the line this season. He's 69.1% from the free throw line. Here's the second one. And a rimmed out, rebounded by Justin Smith of Indiana. So Indiana gets the rebound with 2:18 remaining. Finney takes the ball past the timeline. Dribbling with it's Rob Finney, guarded by Winston. Finney passes the ball off now. They're around the perimeter trying to dribble baseline. Right wing three from the outside, no good. Hit the front rim of the iron by Justin Smith. Rebounded by Michigan State. 2 minutes left to go. Winston with the ball. Minute 56. As they pass the ball around the perimeter, Aarons feeds the ball to Goins. Back to Winston at the top of the key. Michigan State now dribbling at the free throw circle with Winston. Takes it back outside towards the Spartans logo. 8 on the shot clock now. Winston guarded by 3 guys. Throws the ball inside. And a rejection by Indiana. Tried to go inside when it was Michigan State, but Indiana with a rejection in the low post. 1:30. The Hoosiers up by 2. Indiana now with the ball behind the three-point line with it. Top of the key. Trying to dribble inside. Trying to go past 2 defenders. And stolen away by Michigan State. The ball goes out of bounds. 1:17 remaining. I'm going to update the chat here with a score. So Indiana's up by 2, 64-62. Thank you all for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And what I do is that I do live play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout the regular season. And I'll be doing this all the way into the March Madness tournament. So we do have a timeout called on the floor. Tom Izzo will talk things over with 1:14 remaining. And what a fantastic game. Indiana trying to pull off the upset here. I just updated the chat with a score. Feel free to like my video, share, and subscribe. Spread the message about my channel as well. What I do is play-by-play live reactions to college basketball games throughout the season. I'll be doing this, of course, into and through the tournament. I did the live stream earlier today, North Carolina against Louisville. UNC with revenge in that game, beating Louisville by 10 at the KFC Yum Arena. But here we go here, 64-62. Indiana's up by 2. We have a timeout on the floor. So I'll get into the box score here a little bit and get you guys with some of the updates. So we had two really, really big injuries for Indiana in this game. Jawan Morgan, who is second on the team in scoring, averaging 16.4 points per game. He's first on the team for the Hoosiers in rebounds, averaging 8 rebounds per game, and third in the conference in shooting percentage. Jawan Morgan went down around the 6-minute mark in the first half with what appeared to be a left shoulder injury, and he never returned to the court. Now, around, I think it was like 5:32 left to play in this game, Indiana suffered another crucial injury. Aljami Durham, who had 11 points on the night, went down with what appeared to be a hand injury. So 2 crucial injuries in this game for Indiana, as we'll be back hopefully to action soon. Since we're on a commercial break, we'll look at the stats. Michigan State shooting the ball from the field, 46.3%. Indiana's 38.1% shooting from the field right now. The rebounding game, however, going to Indiana, 40-35, out-rebounding Michigan State. And then we look at let's see what else I can update you with. The blocks is definitely the big one. 14 blocks for Michigan State tonight, 6 by Indiana. So just absolutely huge blocks by Michigan State in this game. And also 8 blocks to go along with his name tonight, Kenny Goins. And 21 points by Cassius Winston. That is first right now, leading the team. And then Xavier Tillman coming in with 13 for the Spartans. So we're almost back to action here. We got the score 64 Indiana, 62 Michigan State. We have 1:14 remaining. Michigan State's at home. Indiana trying to pull the upset, even when they lost 2 of their starting 5 players early in this game. Michigan State's inbound, 1:13 now into the hands of Cassius Winston. Winston dribbling towards us right now with the ball. Feeds the ball into the hands of McQuaid. Back to Winston. Winston now dribbling with the ball towards the edge of the Spartan logo. Right wing 3. And he sinks it from the outside. Number 25, Kenny Goins, the guy who has 8 blocks tonight, puts the Spartans ahead 65-64. We have a timeout on the floor by Archie Miller of Indiana to talk things over here. As this is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, feel free to like my channel and my videos, and feel free to spread that message as well and subscribe if you wish, as I'm going to update the chat here. Wow. What a game here, Michigan State and Indiana. Spartans up by 1, 65-64. And this is what high-profile games mean. Number 6, Michigan State, trying to get their win streak going again, as we have the timeout called by Archie Miller. Michigan State retook the lead on the 3 from the outside by the man who has 8 blocks tonight, Xavier Tillman, putting on a show from the outside. We got ourselves a 65-64 game. Indiana will get the ball in the inbounds once we get back from the timeout. So we thank you for joining me in here. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and what I do is I do live streams of my play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games, and I'll be doing this throughout the season, and of course, through the March Madness tournament as well. Big Ten basketball at its finest here. 53.1 seconds remaining. 65-64. Michigan State Spartans up by 1. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my channel as well. And I hope to do more games next week. I'm thinking about doing BC against Duke on Tuesday if I'm able to. I'm not sure if they're going to block me out of the stream or blackout for the stream for that one because I'm from New England. But Next Thursday, I'm definitely doing Washington against Arizona. We're back to action. Indiana with the ball, down by 1. 42 seconds left, dribbling with it towards the top of the key and takes it back now is Kyle Ahrens, guarded by Henry Ahrens, trying to take it inside. Up and in off the glass by Indiana, retaking the lead back 66-65. Hoosiers up by 1, 30 seconds left, and a timeout will be called by Tom Izzo. So I'll update the chat here again. A lot of lead changes in this one. Oh, man. Tons and tons of lead changes. It didn't seem like Indiana was going to be able to pull out this win. They lost 2 of their starting 5 players to injury in this game. They've come roaring back in this one, and now they're up by 1 with 30.3 seconds remaining. I'm updating the chat right here with the updated score for you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe, as well as I'll be doing this all college basketball season long. And, of course, I'll be doing this throughout the tournament as well. And I plan to have some more streams for you guys next week, as well as this is stream number 2 today. I did North Carolina against Louisville earlier today. UNC, with their revenge game against the Cardinals, won the second game against Louisville today on the season by 10. So we're back to action. Cassius Winston with the ball. 25 seconds left. Behind the arc with is Winston. He's guarded by Justin Smith. Passes the ball off. Ball goes back to Winston. Tries to throw it inside to Nick Ward, and he's fouled. With 18.3 seconds remaining, Nick Ward will go to the line for 2. So Michigan State now with the opportunity to take the lead at home from the free throw line with Nick Ward, who's shooting 68.2% from the charity stripe this season. So the ref dribbles the ball to Nick Ward now at the charity stripe. Nick Ward trying to tie this thing up for Michigan State, and he misses the free throw. So we have 18.3 seconds remaining. Indiana is up 66-65, and the Hoosiers just fouled Michigan State's Nick Ward. So Ward is at the free throw line. He just missed his first, but here's the second one. We'll see if he's going to tie it up. Here's the second one. Sinks it. We are tied at 66. Indiana now with the ball. Rob Finney with it. He hit the game winner against Butler, and a timeout called by Archie Miller of Indiana with 14.5. So I'll update the chat here again. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. Spread the message about my channel as well. What I do is play-by-play live reactions to college basketball games. I'll be doing this throughout the season. I'm going to update this chat once again. So I did a stream on Thursday night. It was with 2 teams basically on the bubble, Arizona and Arizona State. That game went into overtime. That was the longest stream that I've ever done. I just started up this channel a couple of weeks ago, as my plan is to do as many college basketball games streaming as possible with these live play-by-play reactions, and I'll be doing this throughout the tournament as well. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, we have a 66-66 game. So after this game, I'll go into the box score and see who the leading scorers are for this game. So yeah, Romeo Langford right now for Indiana, putting on a performance with 16 points currently. Indiana's doing this with 2 of their starters that they lost to injury in this game too. Jawan Morgan got injured, and then also Ajami Durham left towards like the 7-minute mark in the second half. Now 7 seconds with the ball. Indiana gets it into the hands of Langford. Langford step back 3 and he missed it, and the ball will go out of bounds at the buzzer. So this one is going to overtime. So another overtime game for me in the stream. I had that one, Arizona State. That game went into overtime on Thursday. That was a fantastic game, and we have another one that will go into OT. So thank you all for tuning in. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe to my channel as well. What I do is play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games throughout the season. And, of course, I'll be doing this in the March Madness tournament as well. So I'm updating here that we're going to overtime, tied up at 66. So Indiana on the 7-game losing streak, out on the road trying to get this clutch win here at Michigan State. Michigan State trying to get the W against Purdue. These two teams, too good for each other, tied up, and we're going to OT here for this one. So a 5-minute overtime here as both of the teams are talking things over. Thank you for joining my stream. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my channel. Spread the message about my channel as well, and feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. I do play-by-play live reactions to college basketball games. I'll be doing this throughout the season all the way into the March Madness tournament. Yeah, Romeo Langford leading the way in the scoring right now for the Hoosiers. He's got 16. He's also got 4 assists as well. Justin Smith with 11 points, second in the scoring for Indiana right now. Michigan State, their leading scorers. Cassius Winston, 8 for 19 from the field, 3 for 8 from behind the arc. He has 21 points currently in this game. Xavier Tillman with 13 points coming off the bench for Michigan State, and then 12 points added by Kenny Goins. How about that number? Kenny Goins with 8 blocks in this game for the Spartans. We look to these numbers. Indiana's out-rebounding Michigan State currently in this game as we head to overtime, 40-36. Whereas, let's see, what's the other statistic? I was gonna go over blocks in this one. So Michigan State has 14 blocks tonight compared to Indiana's 6. Yeah, Kenny Goins responsible for 8 of them. That's crazy. So we are about ready to tip this ball off at the mid-court circle. We do. The ball gets tipped into the hands of Cassius Winston from Michigan State. Michigan State in their white jerseys with green lettering at home against Indiana, red away jerseys, white lettering. Michigan State with the ball now, trying to move it from behind the arc. Goins looking for somebody who he finds them open now, and it goes back into the hands of Winston. 4:37 left to go in this overtime. Winston with the ball, tried to feed it over the top for the alley-oop to Nick Ward. Couldn't get it to go, but he gets his offensive board, and it's up and in. So Michigan State strikes first in the OT period, up 68-66. Let's see what Indiana can do with the ball now as they're passing the ball around the perimeter and dribbling with it. So they throw it out into the perimeter. A lot of passing here, left side behind the perimeter. Throws the ball down low. De'Ron Davis, what he's done all game, backed in there and thrown it over the top to Nick Ward, trying to do it again. He does it again. 68 even. 4 minutes left to go in OT. These two teams just too evenly matched tonight. Michigan State now with the ball. Nick Ward trying to back his way in the low post. Kicks it back outside. MSU trying to go inside now. Floater up top, up and in. Is good by Aaron Henry. We got a 70-68 game. Both of these teams have scored on their possessions to start off OT, but a lot of time keeps on going from the clock. 3:34 left to go in OT. Indiana with the ball. Indiana at the free throw circle with it is Langford. He kicks the ball back out to Foster. And now it's going inside to Justin Smith, and that ball's on the ground. Aljami Durham. Oh, wow. So Aljami Durham's back in the game after injury. And a 3-ball from the outside. Left wing 3. Romeo Langford hits that one down 71-70. Indiana's up by 1. Michigan State with it. Winston feeds the ball. Left corner 3. No good from the outside by Kenny Goins. Rebounded by the Hoosiers. Trying to go across court. Oh, what a rejection by Michigan State as Indiana tried to go inside. We have 2 minutes, 53 seconds remaining, as that was a foul actually called by Michigan State, so Indiana will go to the line for 2. Indiana is up 71-70. Indiana at the free throw line with 2:53 left to go in OT, as I thank you all for tuning into my stream. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well, as I'll be doing play-by-play and live reaction all season long and throughout the March Madness tournament to college basketball games, as this is game 2 of today for my stream. I did UNC against Louisville earlier today as the Tar Heels won by 10. in Kentucky. So I'm going to update the chat here so we all know the scores. We're on free throws here for Indiana. First one from the line, and he hits Aljami Durham. So he injured his hand earlier in the game, it appeared, but he's back out there now. So now it's 72-70. Indiana's up. And he hits the next one, 73-70. Michigan State down by 3 with the ball past the timeline into the hands of Cassius Winston. Winston dribbling towards his right now as he's guarded by Romeo Langford. And we have another foul picked up by Indiana with 2:43 left to go. So it looks like the Spartans will go to the line to shoot free throws. Nick Ward will be going back to the line from Michigan State. He's shooting 62.8% from the free throw line this season. We'll see what happens tonight. Hey, what's up? We got a close game here. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. What I do is I do play-by-play and live reaction to college basketball games, and I'll be doing this throughout the season and into the tournament. So the first shot from the line, no good by Ward. Here's the second one, and it rims out, circles around the rim, and the battle for the ball. Out of bounds. Last touch, though, by the Hoosiers, so Michigan State will get it back. As we thank you all for joining me into the stream. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. I'm just getting started. I started out this stream like 2 weeks ago. It seems like it's been like really successful, as I plan to do a lot more the next couple of weeks. I've seen a lot of people do these play-by-play stuff with the NFL, but I've never seen one done before for college basketball, so I cannot wait for the tournament to do a bunch of these streams. So 73 Indiana, 70 Michigan State, 2:40 left, and the Spartans will inbound. This will be a big win for the Hoosiers to snap their 7-game losing streak and get back right into the bubble contention. Tillman down low from Michigan State. Feeds the ball back outside and trying to dribble low inside as they kick it back outside for Michigan State, down by 3. And Winston trying to go inside, and he could not get the shot to fall off the glass, but he's fouled on the play, and he'll go to the line for 2. So I'm going to update the score again because we do have a difference in time here. Thank you all for joining me. One hell of a game tonight. This is incredible. I was doing the stream. It was Arizona against Arizona State on Thursday. That game went into overtime. That game was absolutely insane. First shot from the line goes down for Michigan State. 2:28 left. So Cassius Winston is shooting from the line here. And both of them go down. So 73-72. Indiana is up by 1. As the Hoosiers now have the ball. This will be a huge win for Indiana to beat the number 6 team ranked in the nation at home. Trying to go inside is number 3, Justin Smith. Couldn't get it to fall, but the second effort does. 75-72, Indiana's up by 3. 2 minutes to go in OT. Michigan State with the ball into the hands of Cassius Winston. Dribbling now, feeds the ball off, and they pass it. Perimeter 3, right wing, no good. Rimmed out, rebounded by Indiana. Huge rebound for the Hoosiers at this stage of the game. 1:45 left to go. Indiana up by 3. 75-72. As they're passing the ball around the 3-point line. The ball is into the hands of Devontae Green. Now they pass it. Trying to dribble baseline with his Aljami Durham. Kicks the ball back outside to Green. Green passes the ball now to Justin Smith, trying to go into the low post, floated up. He couldn't get it to go. Rebounded by Tillman of Michigan State. We have a minute 21 remaining. Shot clock violation also by Indiana. So Michigan State will get the inbounds. I'm going to update the chat here. We do have a commercial break. Thank you all for joining me. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. Feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe as well. 75-72. We have a timeout here Wow, this is just an absolutely huge game for both of these teams. To put it, if Indiana wins this, they'll soar right above Nebraska in the conference right now, which is huge. As there's about like 10 teams to be projected in that March Madness bracket currently from the Big Ten. This could be huge for Indiana. So on the other hand, Michigan State, last week, Michigan State was looking like they could be like a 1 seed in the tournament at this point, but then everything's just flipped. I have no clue like who's going to be the 1 seed, Tennessee and Duke, but Kansas lost against Kentucky and Texas, and they finally won again today against Texas Tech as Michigan State got the inbounds with 1:15, and it looks like there was a foul by Michigan State, an offensive foul. Is there? So yeah, the refs are going to discuss. Yeah, so Indiana will get the inbounds here. We have 1:15 as the Hoosiers have the ball. 1:10. Devontae Green with the ball now for Indiana, dribbling towards the three-point line, passes the ball off to Romeo Langford with it, dribbling, and Indiana's passing the ball behind the three-point arc. We are less than a minute away here in the first overtime, and we do have a foul picked up with 57.6 seconds remaining. So the Hoosiers will go back to the line to see if they can make this a 2-score game. So if you're just joining us, Indiana is up 75-72 against Michigan State with 57.6 seconds remaining. Indiana's at the free throw line. Aljami Durham shooting at the line. And he hits it from the line, 76-72. Nothing but net there. Yeah, Durham was injured earlier in this game. We see that he has tape right there on 2 of his fingers. And second one rimmed out. So 76-72. Michigan State now with the ball, trying to dribble. Cassius Winston kickback. Open 3, top of the key. No, rimmed out by Michigan State. Rebounded by Indiana with 45 seconds left. Indiana takes it past the timeline. And the turnover forced by Michigan State as they got a double team trap on them right next to the half court line. We have a timeout on the floor with 37.4 seconds remaining. So Tom Izzo calls the timeout. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube. And what I do is live streams and my play-by-play and live reactions to college basketball games. So again, I'm going to update the scoreboard. Thanks all for joining me. As yeah, this would be a huge game. Indiana to win, to put them right back into the bubble contention. And to soar right past Nebraska in the conference as well, as they're on the bubble as well. As good sign for Indiana is that Nebraska lost today against Illinois. So Illinois keeps on playing spoiler into these teams and keeps on upsetting teams as the Fighting Illini is getting better throughout the season. Because they beat Maryland last week for Illinois, as Maryland was ranked 13th at the time, and then they beat Nebraska today. So we are back to action. Michigan State with the ball. Cassius Winston, deep 3. Oh, he dialed it up for Michigan State, 76-75. That was from the parking lot for the Spartans, and Cassius Winston hit that. Tom Izzo will call another timeout. 30 seconds remaining. Wow, what a game. Just an incredible game. And after this game, I'm going to go into the box score for a little bit and see, like, who's leading the team in scoring. So, yeah, let's see. 19 points by Romeo Langford leading Indiana currently. And, oh, wow. So Justin Smith has a double-double for Indiana. 10 rebounds, 13 points for Smith. And for Michigan State, Cassius Winston is keeping his team alive. 26 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. So this has been the Cassius Winston show. They find themselves down by 1 here. I can only wonder if Joshua Langford, who was playing for Michigan State, how he will be able to help out this Michigan State team, as he's out for the season with a foot injury. He suffered that foot injury right before they started conference play. Joshua Langford was averaging 15 points per game for Michigan State. On the other hand, Romeo Langford for Indiana right now, leading Indiana with an average of 17.3 points per game. The inbound on the ball, the pass thrown out of bounds by the Hoosiers. Oh, goodness. The pass intended for Aljami Durham, and it's a turnover by Indiana, and it will go back to Michigan State with 28.4 seconds. So we have another stoppage in time here. What an intense game between these two teams. This is incredible. So again, I'm going to update the chat with the score. 28.4 seconds remaining in this one, and if you haven't liked the video yet, feel free to do that, and feel free to subscribe to my channel as well. What I do is I do live play-by-play reactions all season long to different college basketball games, and of course I'll be doing this in the tournament, and a crucial game for both of these teams. Indiana, they really need a win to improve to 13-9, 4-7 in the conference. Michigan State, they really need to get back to going to improve towards the 20-win mark. So both of these teams in desperate need of a win, with the loss against Purdue last week for Michigan State. And right now, here we go. It's going to be a dogfight to the end. 27 seconds left. Cassius Winston with the ball. He throws it off to the hands now of Kyle Ahrens, who gets it. The pass back to Winston. Feeds the ball inside. Xavier Tillman, 17 seconds left. Back to Winston. Winston trying to go inside. He floats it over the top off the front part of the rim. Rebounded by Indiana with 11.8 seconds remaining, and Michigan State fouls with 11.8 seconds remaining. So the Hoosiers will go back to the line. Wow. This is an insane game. 76-75, 11.8 seconds remaining, and Indiana at the line. So it'll be number 20, Dayron Davis, who's at the line for the Hoosiers. And the first one, oh goodness, it hits. That almost rattled right out, and the rim was so generous on that shot. As I'm watching the above the rim camera right now on the stream. Wow. So it's 77-75. Indiana up by 2. Here's a whoa, missed it. That almost went in. It circled out. 7 seconds left. Winston trying to drive inside, and he cannot put it off the glass. With 3.4 remaining, it's rebounded by the Hoosiers. Oh my goodness. This is fantastic when I'm viewing from this game. The above the rim cameras here, they just give me this like fantastic angle right at the glass every single time. So we have 3.4 seconds remaining. And Indiana will go to the line. It'll be Dayron Davis again in the double bonus. First one hits, so now Michigan State needs to hit a three-pointer if Davis misses this. 78-75. 3.4 seconds remaining. Second shot by Davis. It hits. 79-75. Indiana's up by 4. And Michigan State needs a 4-point play. They won't get it. Winston shot, no good. We got a final here as the Indiana Hoosiers stun the Michigan State Spartans at home, 79-75. As I'll go over the box score in a couple minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in to my game. Wow, that was just absolutely incredible. Incredible game. I've seen some great games this season, but that has to go down as like one of the like top 3 games this season. I saw one a few weeks ago. It was West Virginia against Kansas State. Kansas State was up. Kansas State was losing by 21 against West Virginia, and then K State came back down by 21 and won the game by 1. They had the that was absolutely crazy. They got a school record there for largest deficit of comeback in that game. That was insane. And then I think a few weeks ago, I was watching Oregon against UCLA. UCLA was down by 9 with 1:01 left, and they were at the free throw line with two seconds left, down 77-80. They hit the first shot, and then they had to purposely miss the second shot. Oregon forgot to box out. UCLA got it up and in off the glass, took the game into overtime, and the UCLA Bruins won that one. So that's crazy. Let's go into the box score here for some of the stats. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is fantastic. What a fantastic game. Romeo Langford led the way for the Hoosiers tonight. 19 points. He had 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and the block as well. Justin Smith had 13 points. He had a double-double. 13 points, 10 rebounds. And Aljami Durham, he looked like, yeah, he injured his fingers, it seemed like, earlier on, like around like the 3/4 through that second half, like 6 minutes to go in the game in the second. He had to get pulled from the game because he was injured, went under the tunnel. He got 2 of his fingers taped up together. He still came off the bench. They really needed him. He had 14 points. Jawan Morgan, though, for Indiana, he got injured around 6 minutes in the first remaining, and he never returned to the game. It looked like a left shoulder injury. It looked like a really bad injury, too. We look to the box score. Michigan State, Cassius Winston did basically everything he could tonight, but they fell short. 26 points by Winston. 14 blocks today by the Spartans, and 8 of them were by Kenny Goins. And then, let's see. Michigan State actually shot the ball better than Indiana, 45.3% from the field compared to Indiana's 38.9%. But as we talk about the rebounding game, that's what saved the Hoosiers in this one. Out-rebounding Michigan State 48-40. And also, let's see, the charity stripe. Oh, yeah, free throw line. That's what made Indiana win this game. 13 for 19 from the charity stripe in this one. Michigan State shot 8 for 22, so 36.4% from the free throw line. Just could not get it done for the Spartans tonight. So huge win for the Indiana Hoosiers. They improved to 13-9 overall, 4-7 now in the Big Ten. Just gonna look at I'm gonna refresh the Big Ten standings before I sign off. Let's see what this looks like. And Indiana moved up. So, yeah, they moved past Northwestern now in the standings, and they moved past Nebraska as well. So, that game basically saved Indiana. Huge win for them, 79-75. Michigan State, they just got their 4th loss of the season. So, now they're 18-4, 9-2 right now, currently in the Big Ten. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and feel free to like my videos, share, and subscribe. Spread the message about my channel as well. What an incredible game tonight as the Indiana Hoosiers pull off the 4-point victory in overtime. Thank you guys so much. Signing off. This is Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and remember to like my videos. Feel free to share and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice night.